Guaranteed human.
John Kobylt Show, KFI, AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Hi there. Welcome. We're back again. We're on every day, John Kobylt Show. It's 3 to 6 every afternoon, live on the radio and streaming. And after 6 o'clock, the podcast, John Kobylt Show on demand. And once again, for another day, we're live on YouTube. You go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Subscribe. youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. And we're past the 7,000 subscriber mark just yesterday, right? And we're up to 7,084. So we're looking for 10,000. Now, first up, and this story was developing all afternoon while we were on the air. And it's always tough to tell exactly what's going on because in the early going, you get very few details. I mean, I think we ran a press conference late in the show yesterday, and still the police weren't releasing details. And it's about the shooting at the mosque in San Diego. And it's two teenagers who, they both are dead now. Kane Clark, age 17, who was a high school wrestler, and Caleb Vasquez, age 18. They were found dead in a white BMW after the shooting at the mosque, where 3 people were killed. Inside the BMW was a gas can with a Nazi SS insignia on it. So that gives you an idea where their heads were at. There's a lot more. Looks like they were planning this a while. Looks like they had a very specific ideology against Islam. Let's talk with Don Mihalek, who is a retired senior Secret Service agent and ABC News law enforcement contributor. Don, how are you?
I'm good, John. How are you?
I'm all right. Well, what do we know about these guys?
Well, a lot of what you said is that these two teenagers clearly put together a plan because there was no such thing as a mass shooting that doesn't have a plan. They went to the mosque. They had some hate ideology towards the Islamic people. They had the swastika on a gas can. Apparently, one of the barrels of the gun was inscribed as hate crime. I think they found some writings in the vehicle too. Then they tried to get into the mosque to shoot and kill everybody there, only to be stopped by, in particular, the security guard. I think his name was Amin, and I forgot his last name. Forgive me. But he challenged the 3 of them and got them to stop their forward progression, saving 300 young kids. So Amin and the other 2 guys are clearly heroes. Then these 2 guys left. They shot at apparently a landscaper, and then they stopped somewhere and decided to commit suicide. We know now that the mother of one of the suspects had reported him 2 hours earlier as suicidal and had also reported that her guns, some of her personal guns, were missing in the home, which goes to, if you have somebody that's in crisis, it's a good idea to not have guns at home. The two teenagers committed suicide at the end of their killing spree.
I have said this often after shootings, how parents don't notice when kids go this deep into a dark hole to the point of planning a mass shooting, especially when they've got a whole anti-Islamist ideology. I mean, the kids must have spent a lot of time, first of all, I would imagine, going online and acquiring all the ammunition for their feelings. I don't know how to describe it, but they must have absorbed a lot of garbage online, and they must have spoken about it, and they must have exhibited bizarre behavior. And I don't know how a parent doesn't notice that, even if they're somewhat out of touch. I don't know how you miss this.
A lot of parents are in denial. A lot also do not pay close attention to what the kids are doing online. I mean, it's amazing how many parents give kids phones and access to computers with no safeguards. In this instance, this is a cross-section between radicalization and a grievance. And like you said, these kids probably developed this grievance online. You have in the gaming apps, there are predators there that feed this type of stuff to the kids, because when teenagers are young, they have their minds aren't developed enough to distinguish between right and wrong, between nuance. They're more black and white. And then in addition to that, on social media, if they look at one violent video or one violent post, the algorithms do a funneling, and they start feeding more and more and more violence towards the teenagers.
Yeah.
So it basically contorts their mind, and it pushes them towards these acts.
Kane Clark had all kinds of violent heroes that he idolized, starting with Hitler and Ted Kaczynski and Timothy McVeigh and a list of others that you may not identify right away, but they've all done killing in their lives. And this guy was an encyclopedia of terrorists and murderers.
Yeah, and that is pretty standard across the spectrum with these young males. It's majority males that get radicalized. They have a grievance. They focus on an ideation. They then put a plan together, and then they carry out their act, and an act of violence of some type. So they followed the typical pattern. And back to the point about the parents and the friends and families in the suspect circle, he clearly had some leakage where they saw that he was doing things or saying things or interested in things that weren't quite right. One of the mothers reported one of the kids is in crisis, suicidal. But the key is you have to take the next step and get it addressed. You can't just continue to ignore all the warning signs.
All right, Don, thank you for coming on.
John, thanks for having me.
All right, Don Mihalek, and he is retired senior Secret Service agent and also a law enforcement expert for ABC News. When we come back, California Post just published this less than an hour ago. They got excerpts from their manifesto. Every one of these guys has a manifesto. Kane Clark and Caleb Vasquez. And apparently they had a live stream video going. So they sent it out to the world so you could watch at home. And they had extensive writings, and they had done an extensive study of all the modern day mass killers. It's just incredible that they get this far, and mom and dad are like, huh, what? And that's just astonishing because it's actually written in a lot of detail, almost in an intellectual way. And I'll read it to you, and you'll see what I mean when we come back. Like they were scholars, like they were studying this to get a master's degree. That's the way they wrote. We'll continue with this coming up live on YouTube. We got the $1,000 giveaway, and Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Authorities say the security guard killed in the San Diego mosque shooting prevented more people from being killed. Primary elections are being held in 6 states for House, Senate, and governor races. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour, heading over to the 5 next.
Nobody has ever said, I wish I'd waited longer to protect my savings. So why are you waiting? What most Americans don't know, you can roll part of your 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver without cashing out or paying taxes or taking a penalty. It's called a gold IRA, and it only takes about 15 minutes to start. NobleGoldInvestments.com. Your free IRA gold guide is yours. Just visit NobleGoldInvestments.com, and you'll see. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment decisions.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow, highs ranging from the upper 70s to the low 90s. This report brought to you by Adam Miller for mayor from your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center. We make it easy. Crash on the 5 Elysian Park.
This one is along the southbound side, right at Stadium Way. Everyone's off to the shoulder, but the drive is slow moving out of Los Feliz from Los Feliz Boulevard. We're also looking at the latest out in Yorba Linda. Stall out of lanes now, 91 eastbound, Gypsum Canyon Road. That's where traffic still remains tough, away from just about Weir Canyon and Norco. It's a wreck, 15 northbound before 6th Street. Left lane's blocked. You're backing up almost from the 91 with Southern California's most accurate traffic reports. I'm Angel Martinez.
This election is simple. More of the same or real change. Adam Miller has spent 35 years building organizations, creating jobs, and delivering results, not making excuses. LA needs leadership that works. Vote Adam Miller for mayor. Paid for by Adam Miller for mayor.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com and get your first application consultation for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Hurry, offer ends 5/21. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9-million. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorney.
Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
What if this weekend was different? What if you didn't just live with stress or anxiety? What if you actually did something about it? What if you could change your life in just 2 days? You can. At the Dianetics Seminar, based on Dianetics, the modern science of mental health, you'll learn and apply powerful techniques designed to free yourself from emotional and physical burdens holding you back. It's hands-on, and you'll put the tools to work immediately. In a single weekend, you can relieve stress, reduce anxiety, and take charge of your mental health. Make this the weekend that changes everything. Go to Dianetics.org/seminar. That's Dianetics.org/seminar.
This week at Vons or Albertsons, get pork shoulder butt roast bone-in for $169 per pound with membership where applicable. And Butterball 85% lean ground turkey, 16 ounces is $4.99. Shop in store or online today at vonsoralbertsons.com.
If you've seen termites, wings, or droppings, it's time to call Pacific Coast Termite for a free written inspection. And with Pacific Coast Termite, they use orange oil and Ultraset for treatment. There's no tenting, no move-out, and no pumping your home with poisonous gas. You, the kids, and pets can even stay home while they work. Call now for a 10% discount on termite services and a free 2-year warranty. Plus, get 90-day same-as-cash financing on approved credit. Call 800-PACIFIC. Some restrictions apply.
Are you tired of being blind? If you've been thinking about LASIK, think Excel Laser Vision. Glasses, contacts, fix it with LASIK. I did almost 20 years ago. Until May 31, mention I sent you and you'll get the most advanced LASIK for as low as $62 a month per eye with no interest financing. Stop looking, start seeing. For a free consultation, dial pound 250 on your cell and say the keyword Excel Eye. Pound 250 on the cell, say Excel Eye, or visit exceleye.com.
Women are smart. They watch these crime shows. That's where they get all the information on how to wipe out their husband.
Tim Conway Jr.
They watch 48 Hours or Forensic Files.
Tonight, 6 to 10 on KFI AM 640.
How would you do it if you had to knock him off? Would it be...
Listen, I'm smart enough not to incriminate myself.
That's right.
They can pull this from the podcast. So not going there.
This would be evidence. This is KFI.
More stimulating talk.
I'm Michelle McPhee, and in my new podcast, Kingdom of Fraud, I'm unraveling the strangest criminal alliance I've ever reported on. A polygamist from Utah and an LA Armenian businessman.
$1 billion fraud.
But how long can this alliance last?
Is somebody coming after me?
Search Kingdom of Fraud on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show, got $1,000 to give away here.
Now is your opportunity to win $1,000. Yes! Just enter the nationwide keyword on our website, RICH. That's RICH, RICH.
Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
Brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
Rich, enter that word at KFIAM640.com/cash. If you win, you'll get an email. Check your junk and spam folder for it, too. And there's a new keyword every hour, every weekday. Starts at 9 a.m., goes all the way to 5 p.m. every hour. And next chance to win here is at 4:20 at KFI. And let's see. We're live on YouTube. John Kobylt Show. And here is a super chat. The super chats we promised to read on the air on YouTube. This is from Raleigh Melanson. If Spencer Pratt does not get 50% plus one in the jungle primary, then does he really have any shot of winning in November? Yes, he does. Because Karen Bass is not going to get 50% plus one either, and neither will any of the other minor candidates. It's a whole new slate, and Spencer will then have, about 6 months to campaign. And that's a lot of time. And her approval rating is down in the 20s, which means about 3/4 of the city doesn't like her. At the moment, she's only got 30% in the polls, which means 70% don't want to vote for her. So there's a lot of room to exploit. You don't even have to try to change people's minds so much as reintroduce yourself to those who either and plus there'll be a large number that didn't vote because primaries get a much lower turnout than November elections. November is going to be a big turnout because you got a governor's race. And so, yeah, there's a lot of room for Spencer Pratt to go. He's just got to make the top two. And then it's a total reset. Thank you, Rachel, for sending that. All right, here's some quotes from the manifesto. It's from two teenagers, Kane Clark, 17, and Caleb Vasquez, 19. They were terrorist buddies. Now, I saw photos of Kane Clark. He's a wrestler. But I think if you look at the photos that I saw in the New York Post, the first thing I thought of in both cases is he looked womanly. He really had a feminine face. He had long hair. And first thing I thought of, is this another trans situation? Now, I have seen no details, no evidence of that at all. I'm just saying this was the first thought in my head because he and I realize he's a wrestler, but you never know these days. But he did look really feminine to me. But again, nothing to back that up. Clearly was extremely disturbed, both of them. And when you hear about the manifesto, this is just out of the New York Post just a few minutes ago. Kane Clark had a camera on him. So the world got a live stream video. And you could see the black sun and Atomwaffen symbols linked to Nazi Germany sympathizers. Apparently that was on their outfit. They were wearing camouflage, and they took the guns out of the Clark household. Mom saw that the guns were gone. I don't know if she saw them leave with the camouflage, but she knew they had left together, and that's when she called the police. And the police had come over the house, and she said, I think Kane is suicidal. And they started driving around figuring that, yeah, he was going to do some kind of mass shooting. And they drove to a school first and somewhere else, and then they got word that the mosque was being shot up. Now, Vasquez says, I'm a straight male in his manifesto. I'm certainly not left-wing, nor am I right-wing, not with MAGA or Trump. Politically, I'd call myself a third positionist, specifically aligning most with National Socialism and eco-fascism through any form of third positionism. You see how this is like pseudo-intellectual political analysis? This is 75 pages of this stuff. 75 pages they wrote. And they had a section called About Me. He went on to say, what was I religiously? It doesn't matter really at the end of the day. As my friend once said, my religion is the white race. Okay, there's another clue. And then he talks about some of his favorite shootings, such as the 2019 New Zealand Christchurch, the mosque shooter there, Brenton Tarrant. And he thought that was the blueprint for a successful live-streamed attack. Both shooters wrote about live streaming it with a GoPro, asking people to spread our message. Clark said, try to get the latest version, if you can, to plan your stream attack. He had a section that says obtaining and making gear. So this was probably a how-to for other mass shooters. It detailed his beliefs, And according to the California Post, derogatory and racist views targeting Muslims, Jews, and that got blurred out. Let me preface by saying I don't hate Muslims, at least not really. What I do hate is the religion of Islam itself, and what I hate more is that seeing them here invading my country. I'm also an accelerationist. I believe that accelerating toward the destruction of our current political system and towards an all-out race war for the purpose of societal collapse is the only real way forward. Another section is entitled Death to the World by Kane Clark, a long list of subsections where he carries on about Muslims, the Jewish question, and the beauty of war. Clark says he describes himself as the average white man wanting to do the right thing, being short, especially now, nothing more than ever, nothing short of a torturous humiliation ritual. He feels no remorse for his actions, and he wrote, had I survived, I would have allowed his lawyers to handle everything afterwards. These people should have been forced into a mental institution as teenagers. Their parents are absolutely responsible for not noticing this. That is gross negligence, and this is you know, they've charged and sentenced parents in the past for being so negligent that their kids shot up one place or another. I remember in Michigan, they put parents on trial and they got convictions. And this sounds like this should be a conviction. I mean, this guy's only 17. He has to spend so many hours online. He also had an online gaming profile on a site called Steam. Imagery, references to fascism, Nazi slogans, and on and on. It's a whole dark underworld, and I don't know the references. I don't speak that language. In the end, it's all the same thing. Two guys horribly neglected, and God knows what kind of abuse they suffered, and I don't care. But for the parents, for the mother not to call until the last second after they're running out with guns and camouflage, it's like, oh, would you just stop it? What happened to helicopter parents? Where'd those go? Why is everybody a nut? Why is either somebody's a helicopter parent or they're totally negligent and absent? All right, we got more coming up. I'm going to talk about, we're going to have Steve Hilton on today at 5 o'clock. We're going to talk about the governor's race. There's another poll out. It looks like the top two's position is getting solidified because a lot of voting has already happened in the past 2 weeks. Tell you more, Deborah Mark is live in the Cat 5 24-hour newsroom.
A brush fire that broke out today in the Santa Ana River bottom in Jurupa Valley has grown to 600 acres and has injured 4 people. It's threatening dozens of homes in Riverside, prompting mandatory evacuations. That fire was reported before 11:30 this morning on the north side of the Dry Channel in the area of Bain Street and Limonite Avenue, just north of the Hidden Valley Nature Center, that according to the Riverside County Fire Department. Authorities say the security guard killed in the San Diego mosque shooting prevented more people from being shot through his brave actions. He called for the facility to be on lockdown, which police say saved the lives of those inside. Imam Taha Hussein says the other 2 men killed also gave their lives trying to help.
They were hiding in the parking lot next to the kitchen. They tried to do something to protect, but unfortunately, they sacrificed their lives.
The FBI says its agents have found hate writings in a car in which the 2 teens involved in the shooting killed themselves. The news is brought to you by Seller's Advantage. A guy on probation who attacked his neighbor with a sword in Murrieta has been sentenced to more than 5 years in prison. Michael Keene pleaded guilty last month to assault with a deadly weapon and false imprisonment. After the attack, the guy barricaded himself in his home until a SWAT unit forcibly took him into custody. Primary elections are being held in 6 states for House, Senate, and governor races. One of the most closely watched contests is in Kentucky. Republican Congressman Thomas Massey is facing a challenger backed by President Trump.
I'm not running against President Trump. Most of the people voting for me support President Trump like I do.
Voters will also head to the polls in Alabama, Idaho, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. 5 Republican candidates in Georgia are challenging Democratic Senator John Ossoff, who Republicans say is vulnerable in the November midterms. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has been questioned on Capitol Hill about the newly created $1.8 billion compensation fund for people targeted politically during the Biden administration.
Mr. Attorney General, this is an outrageous, unprecedented slush fund that you set up.
Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen called it a pure theft of public funds. Blanche told lawmakers this morning the fund is not limited to Republicans or January 6th. And the CDC is confirming an American missionary doctor has tested positive for Ebola in Central Africa. Dr. Peter Stafford has been evacuated to Germany for treatment and monitoring. One of his colleagues, Dr. Scott Myrie, says Stafford likely caught the virus from one of his patients.
He put himself unknowingly at risk by doing surgery on a very sick patient who ended up probably dying from Ebola.
Officials say there are more than 500 suspected cases and 131 deaths that can be connected to the outbreak. Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow, around 80. Metro LA, upper 80s in the valleys, upper 70s for the high desert. Low to mid 70s at the beaches, low 80s inland OC, mid 80s to low 90s, and windy in the IE. Right now, 84 in Laguna Woods, 85 in Rancho Santa Margarita, stall on the 605 in Hawaiian Gardens.
Northbound at Carson Street is where the stall has been cleared out of lanes, but traffic is still pretty messy getting away from Catella. We're also heading out to the 405. This is making your way northbound out of Long Beach. This is leaving the 605, very heavy flowing ahead towards the 710 freeway. And also, remember Cajon Boulevard was closed yesterday in the Cajon Pass due to that brush fire. It remains off limits. This is both directions between Cleghorn and Glen Helen Parkway. And that's why there's so much extra pressure on the 15. Northbound delays from the 215 merge to Cleghorn, and southbound slowing, backing up from Ranchero Road as you roll back towards Cleghorn. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
They broke the law to get here, then broke our laws again.
Violent offenders, repeat criminals, people who put our families at risk. But young Kim voted to prevent deportation of convicted criminals. That's why she received a D.
I fear for my kids' safety, whether walking home or hanging out with their friends. Safety isn't political, it's fundamental.
Young Kim, good for criminals, bad for our children. Americans for Security PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by Americans for Security PAC.
Gold and silver recently soared to record highs, then pulled back, and they're high again. So are metals still a good buy? Well, many Wall Street experts predict higher prices ahead. And why is that? Trillions of dollars in national debt, a declining dollar, and inflation that keeps shrinking our savings. Gold remains a historical hedge for wealth protection. Call Lear Capital for a free gold kit. Call 800-225-8100, 800-225-8100, Lear Capital, 800-225-8100.
Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST Medical.
LNK's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. Love, lies, family fights, it's all waiting for you now on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. LNK's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that there are lots of things that can make your engine light come on, besides your engine. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's technicians are specially trained to diagnose what's causing your engine light to come on and fix it, no matter what it is. Keep your eyes on the road and your ears open for another episode of AMCO's Bet You Didn't Know.
AA MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Restrictions, limitations, and exclusions may apply. See AMCO.com for complete details.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
It's Conway here. If you're retired or near retirement, this is what most people missed last year. The S&P last year was up about 16%. Gold climbed 65%, and silver surged more than 144%. And the conditions behind that shift are not going away soon. Debt, inflation, global instability. Golden Crest Metals is offering a free information kit to show how anybody can add physical gold or silver to an IRA IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. GoldenCrestMetals.com or 833-362-3843. 833-362-3843.
Voters are listening to the radio, tons of them. If you're running for office, radio is where people are actually tuned in, not swiping past ads. Connect with communities everywhere and get on the air in just 48 hours. Visit winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
Call 844-GO-SMILE to learn about the new Lifestyle Smile dental implants from Lasting Smiles.
This is Jacob Emrani. When you need help after an accident, I'm here for you. 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
American Vision Windows. Book by May 31st and save 25% off windows and doors. Hey, it's Neil Saavedra. The Fork Report has teamed up again with Wild Fork Foods and Big Green Egg for an Easter and summer kickoff you just don't want to miss. I'll also announce my Wild Fork pick of the week this week. 90% lean organic ground beef for only $7.50. And great meats deserve great grills. Fire up your Wild Fork finds on a Big Green Egg for bold, live fire flavor. Find a Wild Fork near you at wildfork.com and visit biggreenegg.com for a dealer near you. Experience the difference.
KFI. More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI, AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Moist line for Friday is 877-MOIST-86. 877-MOIST-86. Usually talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You call, leave your message. We record it, and we play it back, the best or the worst of them, on Fridays twice at 5:20 and 5:50. So that's the Moist line, 877-MOIST-86. Coming up after 5 o'clock, we're going to have Steve Hilton on, the leading candidate for governor, the leading Republican candidate, too, depending on which poll you look at. And Steve is on. He's written a piece for the California Post today. And there's been a lot of chatter among insiders and political geeks. This is not stuff that I particularly care about because there's just a lot of nonsense. Newsom claimed he had a secret break the glass plan to stop Republicans from advancing in the governor's race. Nobody knows what he meant, if we meant to keep the top two or to keep one of the two Republicans from making it, what he could possibly do. None of it makes any sense. I think it was just trolling. Because there's nothing he can do. He doesn't have any powers to control how we're all going to vote. Here's the thing. The polls repeatedly, and now we're 2 weeks into voting, is the polls repeatedly are showing that it is Steve Hilton and Javier Baccaria going to be the top two. Tom Steyer is third in the latest one I saw, about 6 points back. In fact, here's the latest one. This is supposedly from the Democratic Party and the polling outfit that they hired, Evitarus, Evitarus. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, they've been doing a tracking poll every week. And for this week, ending May 16th, Steve Hilton's at 22, Javier Baccaria at 21. Tom Steyer has slid to 15. Chad Bianco at 10. Put a pin in that because that's what Hilton wrote about today, and I want to talk about. Mrs. Potato Head down to 7. Matt Mahan, total wipeout. I'm really surprised. It shows you that the voters who are responding in this, the Democratic voters, are truly insane. And then, I don't know, you want to play taps? Can you? I think this is time for the burial. Our friend, Deborah's pal, Antonio Villaraigosa, 1%.
Ah, come on.
That's very good. It's time to lay to rest the political career of Tony Villar. 1%. Since he was on our show, he lost 6 points.
God.
I believe in me. He dropped from 7 to 1. This is what we can do to you. We can make you, we can break you.
Come on, let's go.
So Yeah, that's it. 73 years old, and he's got nothing to do.
We clean your toilets.
Well, there's that. There's always an option. Now, as far as Chad Bianco, and we've had Bianco on so many times over the years, so it's a little uncomfortable saying this. One thing is, like, I don't like to get to know anybody in public life. I don't want to really have a personal relationship. I don't want to feel personally indebted to them to the point where I can't tell the truth. And I don't like that. I've seen other hosts go down that route, and it bothers me. It pisses me off sometimes. It's like, I'm listening for you to tell me the truth. I'm not listening because you're covering for your good buddy. But having had him on a few times, I just really liked his president.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy, good personality. He's absolutely right on most everything he says. I thought his campaign was he was really into showing how decisive and pure he is on these issues, and not really attending to getting votes. And there are certain things you have to emphasize in order to get votes to make you more appealing across a wider range of people. Like, I know who his base is. We have a lot of those listeners, and they're good people. And I have seen all their comments in this race, and I understand, why you find Bianco to be the most appealing. It's just at some point, if he's not pulling the audience, if he's not pulling the votes, you got to do what's practical. I don't know why people have a hard time with practical, being pragmatic. A lot of people in politics do on both sides. And it's like, and you can't get elected without necessarily faking your positions, without misleading people. But I always thought he was such this hard-charging sheriff, from out in Riverside. I didn't know if that was going to play in a lot of the state. And Hilton does play better across the state. He's got a big lead over Bianco, 22-10. I don't think that's going to disappear in the final 2 weeks. And it would be much better to have either Hilton or Bianco in the top two than neither, because you do not have a palatable Democratic alternative if you want things to get better. Becerra and Steyer are both extensions of Newsom. Newsom is a complete disaster. A complete disaster. No question. Becerra and Steyer have contradicted not a thing that Newsom stands for or that Newsom's done. It's the Kamala Harris situation. When she was asked on The View, what would you do differently? Nothing comes to mind. Becerra and Steyer have had a campaign where that might as well be their slogan. Change from Newsom's direction, nothing comes to mind for both of them. So you don't want Becerra's a dud and Steyer's a weirdo. Like, on personal terms, I think I made this clear. As Matt Mahan seems like a relatively normal person. Yes, he's left-wing to a point, but he's not insane. He's kind of moderately liberal. He would break from Newsom in a lot of ways. Like, he called for a suspension of the gas tax. So I had decided that we are forced by some international law to live under a Democrat the rest of our lives, I would rather live under a Matt Mahan, but not Baccaria and not Steyer, because personally they're both just offensive. And Becerra doesn't have a brain in his head. But 10% for Chad Bianco, that's not good enough. And he's not going to make that up in 2 weeks. So if you haven't voted and you want a change from Newsom, Steve Hilton, by far. And Hilton's done the work. I think that California Doge project he's on, he has his own team of investigators. They have found that on average, California wastes $90 billion a year in various wasteful agencies and programs and fraud. $90 billion. And by the way, that's a plausible number, because at the end of the Schwarzenegger term, The budget was $100 billion, and now it's $340 billion. So it's gone up in 15 years, $250 billion. Well, you know that's larded with a lot of garbage. So I think his number is probably accurate. That alone, that even bothers to do that and then can articulate it, clearly he knows one of the things killing California. So he's a great candidate. He ran a better campaign. And he's maybe it's his British accent, but he's got enough warm and fuzzy going, because you have to appeal to a lot of people. And Bianco is really hard charging, but to be honest, he's not going to get a lot of female votes. So that's where I'm going to be voting for Steve Hilton. And you got to have Hilton in the top two. So if you're a Bianco voter, if you haven't voted yet, that is the smarter thing to do. And somewhere you know that. Somewhere you know we can't have another 4 years of a Newsom administration, which is what Baccaria and Steyer are going to give you, and maybe even worse. So, but we'll talk to Steve Hilton about it all coming up after 5 o'clock. And Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A fire burning in Jurupa Valley has now grown to 600 acres. 4 people have been injured. Authorities say they found a manifesto by either one or both of the teenagers involved in that shooting at the Islamic Center in San Diego. We'll have more at the top of the hour. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy, slow on the 10 in Santa Monica.
Eastbound delays are backing up all the way from 20th Street, and it's a tough drive across Mid-City all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights. Also slowing down on the 101. This is southbound crowding up out of Calabasas from Lost Hills. Delays and stretches to the 170, 134 split. More slowing in Hollywood. Sunset into downtown Los Angeles. And that 2 southbound, that's starting to really load up as well, out of Glassell Park from Verdugo Road as you roll towards the 5. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Here's a question. How many brokers does it take to insure your business? Well, if you're like most business owners, the answer is too many. Multiple policies, multiple applications, and no clear view on how it all fits together. And when questions come up, it's not easy to get the clarity you need. Super Sure changes all of that. One broker for your business insurance, backed by a team that works with you year-round, not just at renewal. And if you've ever stared at a policy, wondering what it actually covers, Super Sure has a fine print fax tool that translates the legal jargon into plain English. That way you know what's covered and what's not. Right now, you can go to supersure.com and get a full report on your current policies with no obligation at all. Find out if you're overinsured, underinsured, or somewhere in between. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
The Dodgers will try to take a game back from the Padres tonight. LA now a half game behind first place San Diego in the NL West. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert didn't attend today's voluntary workout, nor was he seen on the field by reporters last week. Two-time Wimbledon champion Carlos Alcaraz withdrew from the tournament today because of a lingering wrist injury. I'm Frank Aird.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
This report is sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem Blue Cross and Chicas Verdes are helping students throughout Los Angeles learn how to grow and prepare their own healthy food. They're joined by Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families. Learn more at anthem.com/CA/Sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
Hey there, campers! It's Jan from Toyota. Time to pack your bags and buckle your seatbelts, because this summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota. And the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a powerful new 4Runner. Next, we're taking a RAV4 to go fly fishing. Then we're heading to the hot springs in a spacious Sequoia.
Jan, what is that smell?
Sulfur stinks. Now we're hitting the hiking trails in a rugged Grand Highlander. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Don't worry if you burn a few, folks. I brought a truckload. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
At GimmeTheVin.com, it's all digital. We have a 45-second offer online. It's fast, it's easy, and we have the best online reviews on the planet. Sell me your car.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 30% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. 800-LifeLock. 1-800-LifeLock or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Gold and silver recently hit record highs, then pulled back. So are metals still a good buy? Many experts say yes. Gold remains a long-standing hedge for wealth protection. Call Lear Capital at 800-225-8100 for a free gold kit. 800-225-8100.
You need to lose 50 pounds or more. You've tried dieting, you've tried injections, but nothing has worked. This is not failure. You just need the right plan. Weight loss is complex. It can be affected by stress, depression, or genetics, and that means you deserve real medical support. At West Medical, your path forward is physician-guided and built around you. Take control of your health with a free consultation to start feeling incredible. 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL. That's 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL. KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
You ever thought about changing your partner selection or brand usage processes after the strippers showed up to the company party?
Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow at 9.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show. You can follow us at John Kobylt Radio on social media. And we're live on YouTube now. And youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. You subscribe. We're over 7,000 subscribers now, and we'll read some of your comments later. And there is a clamoring to see Deborah again today. So we'll see.
I charge for that.
Oh, you want to set up your own little side business here?
Yeah.
All right, she charges. What's on the menu?
I haven't thought that far.
What are the different offerings?
Just to see me smile.
If you want, they'll suggest some of the listeners.
Yeah, then I'll be fired.
All right. Well,
right?
Yeah, we got regulations to work under.
Well, thought maybe we could set up an OnlyFans thing on the side here.
No, that's a different website from YouTube.
Well, we should set up an OnlyFans account then.
Well, all right, Deborah.
Deborah could be the main attraction.
No, not that, but something a little PG.
All right. People don't pay for PG.
No.
Now, I want you to listen to this. Have you ever seen in the New York Times, there's a column called The Ethicist?
No.
This is something that I occasionally read. It is someone with an ethical problem in their life and they don't know what to do. And they actually write to this newspaper columnist. And he's a professor in ethical behavior or some such nonsense. And I read it because it cracks me up. The people writing are such losers, such dopes. Listen to this. And you put yourself in this woman's position.
Okay.
And you tell me if what you would do. This lady wrote, I'm a woman in my 30s, and I rent a small unit from a storage chain on the outskirts of L.A. It's an L.A. story. The building is a bit run down, not in the best area, but it usually doesn't feel unsafe. Price and access hours are good. The first few times I went to move my things in, everything seemed normal. On my third trip, there was a man in the unit directly across from mine. Bags in the hallway, sitting on a 5-gallon bucket, barefoot, writing on a notepad, and eating a cup of noodles. As I approached, he pulled down a makeshift curtain of old plastic sheeting. I was too surprised to get a good look inside, but I did see a large jar of yellow liquid and a semi-used roll of toilet paper, along with floor-to-ceiling bags and boxes that looked as if they'd been there for many years. Behind the plastic, it sounded as if he just continued to write. I had planned on organizing my unit that day, but was so uncomfortable, I just threw my things inside and left. On almost every subsequent visit, he's been in there. He always pulls the plastic down, but it doesn't cover the whole doorway. And it's deeply uncomfortable shuffling around my own things while someone sits there 5 feet away. We don't interact. Sometimes I think I hear a pen scratch, but once I heard rhythmic squelching and got really grossed out, jumping to an obvious conclusion. I've never heard the phrase rhythmic squelching.
I haven't either.
I didn't know it makes that sound. Here's my quandary. Okay. Now, first of all, you've heard the main part of the story. What would you do?
What would I do?
You're really stumped?
Yeah. I'm also very distracted with this fire. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm a little distracted. But okay, so just ask me again when you're asking
it's
me.
3 paragraphs. I can't read the whole thing again.
Okay, just cliff note it.
Well, there's a weird guy. It looks like he's living in the
right, but what do you mean? What would I do?
Well, because you're really uncomfortable and you have to go there regularly to get your stuff and see your stuff.
Okay, I would ignore it. I would.
You wouldn't just like pack up and get the hell out of there?
Well,
Well, here's her question. Do I listen to my discomfort and approach management, or do I try to let it go?
Well, I don't know if you approach management. Is management going to do anything?
And then she's worried about him. Getting his unit revoked could put him in a much worse situation.
Ouch! I mean, I would try and avoid, and maybe I would talk to management. I would do both.
It seems like he's living there and he's pleasuring himself, I guess is the bottom line.
I'm sure he is.
Right. So,
I'm not going to go anywhere near him.
I think you, I think you pack up the car and move to another storage unit.
But yeah,
I thought it was obvious.
But why do I have to go and move and find another storage unit?
Because he's rhythmically squelching in the next unit.
Oh, I know, but he needs to go away. Why do I have to? I mean, that just, that doesn't seem fair.
I didn't expect that.
Well, maybe I would move, John, but I'd be pissed that I'd have to go and move all my stuff because of this loser.
Yes, I'd be pissed too, but you're a woman and you've got an obvious weirdo who's squelching.
No, I know, but it's
right.
You know what a pain in the butt it is to move all your stuff.
Okay, well maybe that's her problem too. You always surprise me. All right, next hour I hear we have a. We don't have enough time. All right, you're going to have to make an appearance because somebody's paying money.
How much?
Well,
how much?
We'll tell you when. We'll tell you.
You're such a tease.
Okay, we'll do it right after the news.
Okay. Enough money to buy a new pair of shoes?
No.
Oh.
Well, it depends what kind of shoes and where they're from.
Not your kind of shoes.
Okay.
Maybe if we got 500 of these. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Another fire. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The Bain fire Burning in Jurupa Valley in Riverside County has grown to 600 acres since it started late this morning. CAL FIRE Captain John Klingsmith tells KTLA masses of burning dead bamboo in the Santa Ana River bottom is proving hard to control.
Some areas are as deep as 20 feet of dead, dried, ready to burn bamboo. So that is a lot of our difficulty every time that we have a fire in the river bottom.
4 people have been hurt. Dozens of homes are threatened in Riverside. The LA Fire Department says smoke from the Sandy Fire in Simi Valley will be seen in the San Fernando Valley east of the fire zone because of the wind directions. The fire has burned about 1,400 acres, is still only 5% surrounded. Ventura County Fire Department spokesperson Andrew Dowd says having a water reservoir close by is helping firefighters' efforts.
So the reflex time, the time it takes helicopters to get water to the facility from the lake to the fire is very short.
The South Coast Air Quality Management District has issued a wildfire smoke advisory saying areas likely to experience poor air quality include Calabasas, the Palisades, and Malibu. Police in San Diego say the 2 teenagers who shot and killed 3 people at the Islamic Center met online and shared a hatred of different races and religions. Authorities have uncovered a manifesto by one or both of the teens, as well as guns and a crossbow. Police Chief Scott Wall says houses of worship all over San Diego will have extra security.
Law enforcement is banding together to make sure that there is a feeling of being safe.
Increased patrols are still in place around mosques and other houses of worship across LA County, with police saying there's no known threat to any such facilities, but the patrols are being maintained out of an abundance of caution. A man from Moore Park has pleaded guilty to felony incest and giving alcohol to his 18-year-old daughter, who died by suicide.
3 years in prison and 20 years as a registered sex offender is the most prosecutors can get for Stephen Vincent Chavez after exhaustively searching for harsher punishment. In July 2025, 2 days after his daughter Michaela moved from North Carolina to live with him and start college, the two were drinking at a family gathering. Chavez bought more for them to drink at home, then had sexual intercourse with her. The girl was hospitalized and a rape kit confirmed Chavez's DNA. She committed suicide that December. He'll stay locked up until his sentencing June 23rd. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
A TikTok influencer, her lawyer dad, and a surf instructor have been charged in a plot to kill a boy band singer.
This is not the beginning of a joke. Moderate influencer Gabriela Gonzalez, she's only got 400,000 followers. Her big-time lawyer dad in Miami and surf coach Kai Cordry from Hawaii have been charged in a murder-for-hire scheme against her baby daddy. Jack Avery was a member of the LA boy band Why Don't We from the 2010s. A custody dispute over a daughter between Avery and Gonzalez was apparently behind the murder plot. Gonzalez and the surfer guy are married. Avery filed for sole custody of the 7-year-old daughter after the arrests were announced. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
3 progressive members of the LA City Council have endorsed LA Mayor Bass for re-election over council member Nithya Raman. Eunices Hernandez, Isabel Jurado, and Hugo Soto Martinez are all members of the Democratic Socialists of America, as is Raman. Spencer Pratt, who's also running for mayor, has accused Bass and Raman of working together to keep him out of the general election.
Why do they never attack each other? Because Karen saw that I was a serious threat. She made Nithya jump in the race to block me out from the number 2 slot.
Council members Hernandez and Jurado have praised Bass for her response to the Trump administration's immigration raids in the city and her efforts to reduce homelessness. Soto Martinez endorsed Bass earlier this year. And Disney is being sued over the use of facial recognition technology at its theme parks in Southern California.
Facial recognition was put in place at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure entrances in April. The lawsuit argues Disney does not adequately disclose the use of their biometric collection. It adds that a sign at select entrances with a slash through a silhouette that allows guests to avoid the facial recognition isn't enough notice. The lawsuit's seeking at least $5 million. Monica Nelson, KFI News.
Going to the 10 next.
Lasting smiles, dental implants. You have rotting, decayed teeth? Well, cover your mouth a moment. Nobody wants to see that. We've had a ton of listeners calling for the April Spring Smile Special. So I talked to the team at Lasting Smiles and convinced them to extend the deal into May. There's a catch, though. They're only doing a limited number of cases at these prices, and once those spots are gone, they're gone. So if you've got the rotted, decayed, disgusting mouth and you've been shopping around for dental implants, stop shopping. This is the right deal. You go to it. Lasting Smiles, decades of experience, cutting-edge digital technology. and some of the most competitive pricing in the whole industry. You get a free comprehensive dental exam, full 3D imaging. They're offering payments as low as $149 a month on approved credit. You can transform your smile, your whole life for $149 a month. You can do that. Offer is limited. First come, first serve. Don't wait. Lock in your spot. Mention KFI or John to get the special. LastingSmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow. Highs around 80 metro LA, upper 80s in the valleys, upper 70s in the high desert, low to mid 70s at the beaches, low 70s inland OC, mid 80s to low 90s and windy in the IE. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supersure. Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed down 322, S&P 500 down 49, NASDAQ down 220. Crash on the 10 in El Monte.
Okay, this one's a doozy. It's on the eastbound side at Peck Road. 6 cars got into it. 2 of the cars flipped over, and all lanes were stopped for a few minutes. Now it's only the right lane that's open for about the next hour. Huge delays here. Let's look at that 10 eastbound right now. We're seeing delays that are just jamming up all the way from City Terrace Drive out of City Terrace. Alternates, you could take the 210 Pasadena. That's slowing from Mountain all the way to Foothill. And the 60 eastbound loading up out of East LA from the 5 as you continue ahead towards the 605. The drive on the 605 northbound slowing down as well out of Norwalk from the 105 freeway. And that's a tough one all the way to the 60. Also looking at Corona for the 15 southbound. That's a slow drive off of the 91 freeway traveling towards Wyrick Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
If you've seen termites, wings, or droppings, it's time to call Pacific Coast Termite for a free written inspection. And with Pacific Coast Termite, they use orange oil and Ultraset for treatment. There's no tenting, no move out, and no pumping your home with poisonous gas. You, the kids, and pets can even stay home while they work. Call now for a 10% discount on termite services and a free 2-year warranty. Plus, get 90-day same-as-cash financing on approved credit. Call 800-PACIFIC. Some restrictions apply.
At UCI Health, their mission is simple: to improve the lives of people in the community and beyond. As Orange County's only academic health system, they deliver leading-edge discoveries, train future healers, and provide the highest quality care for you and your family. Now, you can tap into that expertise anytime with the Live Well podcast series, featuring UCI Health experts on wellness, prevention, mental health, nutrition, and everyday ways to just live healthier. Download and stream Live Well by UCI Health wherever you listen to podcasts.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart radio app. We're on from 3 to 6. After 6, John Kobylt Show on demand, the podcast on the iHeart app. And we're live on YouTube, and you should run to the YouTube screen now. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show, YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show, and subscribe. And we also have a chat room going, and people can offer super chats, right? That's what we're calling them, super chats.
What's a super chat, John?
Come close to the microphone.
What's a super chat, John?
Super chats is when they give $10, and we promise to read them on the air. And we have Bobby Thompson Rocks, and his super chat is have Deborah wave. So Deborah is standing behind me on YouTube and waving. Bobby, I hope you enjoy this.
I'm sure this is very exciting.
I don't want to hear any squelching, okay? So there you go. That's the show. That's all she does. Yeah.
I'm just waving?
For $10, yeah.
Okay.
Now, that's what I said. If you have a price list.
I know. Well, more than $10.
Well, for $100, Robbie's there waiting. All right. Now back to the show. What is that?
It's just a bunch of ticket emojis.
A bunch of what emojis?
Ticket emojis.
Ticket emojis. What am I supposed to do with that? Farmer John Bacon?
Thanks, Farmer John Bacon, for the $1.99 super chat.
Oh, I see. All right. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. This is getting ridiculous. All right. Now, this is important. John Fleischman wrote a great column here John is a political writer and commentator based in Orange County, and he's got a website, sodoesitmatter.com. It's a subscription site, and this is worth it. sodoesitmatter.com, and it's on California politics. We've had it on the show a number of times. And the headline for today's offering is The Shrinking Train to Nowhere. And I was going to say you're not going to believe this, but you will believe this. They shrunk the train from Sacramento to San Francisco to Los Angeles to Anaheim to San Diego. That was the original plan for $33 billion. Now it's going to cost $231 billion. So they've shrunk the idea. Bakersfield to Merced is what they're publicly saying. But you might be surprised to find out that Gavin Newsom is lying even with that. It is not going to be Bakersfield to Merced. According to a new report from the Legislative Analyst's Office, this is a nonpartisan office that tries to tell the truth about what's going on in government. It's the only office in Sacramento that does this. They reviewed the California high-speed rail business plan. And now it turns out that Newsom's train is not going to reach Merced or Bakersfield. On the north end, it would stop. Well, on the north end, the train track's going to stop 3.5 miles south of downtown Merced. So I don't know what 3.5 miles south is. Are you in a field? The southern end going south would land 6 miles north of the Bakersfield station. So wait, they're going to build a Bakersfield station, but the rail line is going to stop 6 miles to the north. And the Merced station, the train will stop 3.5 miles to the south. That's 9.5 miles of missing track. What the hell? And John Fleischman wrote, "This is not a punchline. That's the plan." Is everybody insane? So now it's down to 162 miles. Bakersfield to Merced was supposed to be 171. That was the magic number. Now it's down to 162. There's a missing 9 miles. And according to the legislative analyst, 144 of the miles may now operate on a single track. Well, you know what that means? It means on a single track, when trains are coming at each other from opposite directions, one of them is going to have to veer off to a side rail and then wait for the other train to pass, which is not exactly a bullet train. It's only going to be one rail. Also, the stations themselves are only going to have single side platforms. So you won't be able to get off or get on going in both directions. It's like a freeway where an exit ramp is only on the northbound lanes, but not the southbound lanes. And this new train idea, short of Bakersfield and short of Merced, is supposed to cost $35 billion, which is more money than the original Sacramento to San Francisco to LA to Anaheim to San Diego route. So now you're not quite getting to Merced, and you're not quite getting to Bakersfield. And I don't know what you do when you get off the train, and I don't know what you have to do to get to that train station. Then he found out, according to the state inspector general, another one of the few people who's telling the truth, that there have been so many changes by the rail authority, it may now violate the law because the law has required dual track service. In other words, trains to go in both directions. And it required connections to downtown stations in Merced and Bakersfield. So that violates the law established by Senate Bill 198 and Assembly Bill 377. So this is not only extremely, insanely, embarrassingly over budget. Even with their current phony budget, It's not going to get to Bakersfield or Merced, and it's only going to be one track, which means it's going to take forever to get anywhere. He writes, the promise was grand: modern infrastructure, environmental progress, technological prestige, a gleaming rail system that would show the country how the future was supposed to work. The reality is a lot uglier. Shortened routes, downgraded stations, single-track compromises, exploding costs, endless delays, and now legal questions over whether the project fits the rules that were written for it. And Javier Baccaria and Tom Steyer both want to continue the high-speed rail scam. And Steve Hilton wants to end it. Don't you think it should be ended? Do you want the next governor to actually spend tens of billions of dollars? By the way, they get some of the money from the gas tax. You know, that $6.50 gallon of gas you're buying? There's $2 worth of taxes and regulations in there, and some of it's going to high-speed rail. Going to have Steve Hilton come on after 5 o'clock.
You owe me another $10, by the way.
All you did was wave. Hey, if that's all it takes for that guy.
Oh, and by the way, it was bacon strips, not raffle tickets for Deborah. Farmer John Bacon.
Oh, I see. That was a joke. The guy was offering
to poke fun at Deborah.
Offering Deborah bacon.
Yes.
I see.
And I graciously refused.
Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. LA County hoping to better coordinate rebuilding efforts in wildfire-ravaged areas, and police in San Diego say the two teens who shot and killed 3 people at the Islamic Center met online and shared a hatred of different races and religions. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour. We will check the 10 next.
If you're hurt in a car accident, motorcycle crash, trucking collision, even a dog bite, what comes after is usually the same. You get pain you didn't expect, appointments you didn't plan for, insurance companies saying they're there to help, but they're really focused on protecting themselves. And so that's why I'm telling you about Sweet James. They help you when your injuries are real and the stress is high. The insurance company, they have a plan. You don't. So if you've been hurt in an accident, don't face it alone. Let the attorneys at Sweet James be by your side and help you recover. Free consultation, 800-9-MILLION, 800-9-MILLION, 800-9-000-000, with offices throughout California, including Los Angeles. Now, they can't guarantee or predict the outcome of your case, but it's important to have Sweet James by your side. The free consultation, here's the number again. I mean, if you're laying right now on the side of the road, I hope you left the radio on. 800-9-MILLION, 800-9-000-000, sweetjames.com.
From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Back to the 10 in El Monte.
This crash on the eastbound side coming up on, let's just double check that location again, coming right up on, bear with me here, there we go, Peck Road. That's where I just got word from the Highway Patrol, and they said that the 2 right lanes are open now, but huge delays remain on that 10 eastbound all the way out of City Terrace from City Terrace Drive. And, to make things worse, there's another problem, and this one is in Chino with a stall on the 60 eastbound before Mountain Avenue, taking out the 2 right lanes, slowing things down away from the 71. It's a big rig there. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by Capital One Bank.
Today marks the tip-off of the WNBA's historic 30th season, with 2 new teams joining the league, the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire, to bring the total to 15 for the 2026 season. The Las Vegas Aces are the returning champs, led by 4-time WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson. 3 games on the slate tonight. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts. As a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network, Capital One is here to help you learn more about today's top athletes. Plus, Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One, N.A. member FDIC.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at TrueGreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Hurry, offer ends 5/21. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call Lear Capital for your free gold investment kit. 800-225-8100.
Lose the weight. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST Medical.
Voters are listening to the radio, and they're really listening. If you're running for office, radio gets your message heard, not scrolled past. Reach communities everywhere and be on the air in just 48 hours. Go to winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at TrueGreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Hurry, offer ends 5/21. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
If you're living with constant knee pain and you're dreading surgery, which you should, and you're looking at a long recovery, no fun. Let me tell you about Hoag Orthopedic Institute. Their award-winning knee specialists are changing how knee pain is treated. They offer the most advanced, minimally invasive procedures for faster recovery, better movement, and the care is personalized using the most cutting-edge techniques, including robotic-assisted knee replacement, state-of-the-art cartilage restoration. You get up, get active, and you're going to move without missing months of your life. And they accept most PPO and Medicare insurance plans. So call 800-919-2000 or visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com. That's H-O-A-G, HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com. Locations throughout Southern California, proudly physician-owned. That's HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com. Call 800-919-2000.
iHeartRadio Broadway plays Broadway's biggest hits 24/7. From the shows that have taken home Tony Awards in the past.
Alexander Hamilton.
With you and I, defying gravity.
To the new shows hoping to win their own on June 6th.
I wanna belong to someone.
Get your musical fix now. All Broadway, all the time. Search iHeartRadio Broadway on the free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, you want to buy a gun in California? You might have to take a 4-hour course before you kill someone. And that's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 o'clock on the next Bill Handel Show.
Oh, $1,000 giveaway. Yes.
Now is your opportunity to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills, Bills. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash. Brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
Bills. Enter that at KFIAM640.com/cash. That's where you enter the keyword. My brain seized up. It actually just completely seized up. It's your perfume in here. Winners will be notified by email. Check your junk and spam folder. Listen to KFI. Winning keyword every hour, every weekday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Next chance to win is at 5:20 at KFI. All right. Steve Hilton coming on at 5 o'clock. Steve Hilton. We are live on YouTube, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. And subscribe and follow us at John Kobylt Radio on social media. Now, there are a lot of people very excited about the World Cup coming to Los Angeles in about a month. Even if you're not a big soccer fan, it is exciting to be hosting a number of games. It's 300,000 people are going to be coming. And, it's good to have a celebration. It's good to have a big event coming because much of the time it is very difficult and depressing to live here. Now, this is going to bring a lot of money to the city. You bring in 300,000 people. That is a lot of food. That is a lot of hotels. That's a lot of tourism stuff in addition to them going to the games. I'm sure a lot of people are taking a week's vacation. and it goes on. It goes on for several weeks, actually. 8 games will be played at SoFi Stadium. Opening match on June 12th. A quarterfinal is the last match on July 10th. So there's going to be a lot of people coming and going. 290,000 visitors coming through LAX, 40% from outside the U.S. All right, this is a big deal. I'm surprised they're not cleaning up the city, but maybe it'll remind some of the international fans of their homeland, especially if they're coming from a third world country. Now, with all that going for it, right? I don't think anybody can argue, even if you don't like soccer, this isn't a big event. This is a lucrative event. This is something that should be fun and exciting. Do you know what the idiots at the El Segundo Times, the Los Angeles Times, decide to focus on with a front page story? 2026 World Cup set to emit record-breaking 9 million tons of carbon. That's what they decided to focus on. How it's going to emit 9 million tons of carbon. This is some nutbag named Bianca Beggart. As nearly 300,000 fans prepare to arrive in LA for the World Cup, the International Soccer Federation is coming under fire for what climate scientists and advocates are calling the most polluting World Cup in history, because they're having it in 16 stadiums across Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. Despite the fact that climate change is worsening, the risk of playing in dangerous heat is rising. And the Federation, FIFA, had promised to reduce its carbon emissions by 50% by 20. They're completely unhinged. These writers and editors at the LA Times should be locked up in a mental asylum with all the lunatics out in the street. Who gives a crap? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nothing bad is happening. Nothing bad is going to happen. This is just pure mass hysteria is what it is. And they quote some researcher from the UK. It's the sheer amount of travel involved in this tournament. There's more games. There's more teams. So there's millions of fans traveling around the world. It's by far the most emissions-intensive World Cup we've ever seen, says this kook Freddie Daly, a researcher at the University of Sussex. Jet exhaust is a major contributor to climate change, 3% to 4% of all warming. Air travel is the biggest contributor to carbon emissions from major sporting events. Oh, my God. And they highlighted, this is a lengthy article. It would take me a half an hour to read this thing. The games are going to generate over 9 million tons of carbon, double the average of the last 4 World Cups. So what? Who cares? Can people have fun? Can we live our lives? Can we make some money? Can we enjoy a game? Constantly with the lecturing and the hectoring and the nagging and just stop it. Leave the planet. If you think the planet's too polluted, really, Elon Musk will gladly take you in one of his rockets and ship you out into orbit, or actually shoot you out of the solar system. How's that? I'm sure he's got a rocket to spare where you could just board it and boom, we'll blow you right out. Right past Pluto. There's absolutely not, if there's 300,000 soccer fans coming through here, there's not one of them who gives a rat's ass about this stupid story. And normally I don't even carry on about LA Times stories anymore because they're so ridiculous. But this one really got to me. It's all bad. It's all stupid. In the meantime, LA has completely gone to hell on a day-to-day basis in the streets. And what did the Times do? They endorsed Karen Bass twice. More coming up. When we come back, here's what they spend the money on. Here's what they spend the money on. And this is in Nithya Raman's district. Runyon Canyon. You ever hike on Runyon Canyon? The Hollywood area? One of the most popular hiking areas in Los Angeles, Nithya Raman's district. They spent $1 million on a restroom. $1 million on a restroom. Not making this up. Tell you all about it next. Deborah Mark, who for $10 will wave at you.
Yes, somebody just sent a message on Twitter. They're offended that you had me wave for $10. What are you doing to your talent? This person asked.
This is a tawdry business. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Authorities say they have found a manifesto by either one or both of the teenagers involved in the shooting at the Islamic Center in San Diego. FBI Special Agent in Charge Mark Remley says the two appear to have been radicalized online.
The FBI takes very seriously any violence, and we refuse to give these subjects a platform to try to inflict their hateful beliefs onto others.
He says the two teens did not discriminate in their hatred and are believed to have met online. LA County is hoping to better coordinate rebuilding efforts in wildfire-ravaged areas. The Board of Supervisors has voted to create a disaster recovery rebuild authority, effectively centralizing the various aspects of the rebuilding process. The authority will be responsible for integrating all fire recovery functions from multiple county functions. The late Jane Goodall has inspired students to plant thousands of trees.
Students in Pacific Palisades are transplanting 30 young oak, sycamore, and blue elderberry trees at a nursery at Seven Arrows Elementary. It was inspired by the world's leading primatologist, Jane Goodall. It's part of a student-led wildfire recovery effort called TREAMS, which is short for Trees and Dreams. It's working to restore communities damaged in the 2025 fires. This is the second TREAMS project. The first was last month in Pasadena. The goal is to plant 5,000 trees across Altadena, Pacific Palisades, Malibu, and other communities affected by the fires. Amy King, KFI News.
Health officials in California say consumers should not eat several kale and salad snack products after tests found elevated levels of thallium, a toxic metal that can cause serious illness. The California Department of Public Health says the affected items are several varieties of Brad's plant-based crunchy kale, salad snack, and veggie chips. All these products are sold at major retailers in Southern California. And Southwest Airlines no longer welcomes human-like robots on its flights.
Earlier this month, an employee of a Dallas-based company called the Robot Studio flew Southwest from Dallas Love Field to Las Vegas, along with a robot companion named Stewie. The company had bought a plane ticket for Stewie and had made sure its battery was FAA compliant. The very next day, Southwest banned human-like or animal-like robots from its flights, either as passengers or as checked baggage.
I'm Michael Kastner.
We're going to go back to the 10 next.
Spring is the best time to sell your used car. GiveMeTheVin.com wants to buy it, whether it's your daily driver, pickup truck, SUV, minivan, or exotic. If Give Me the VIN does not beat a deal from CarMax or Carvana, they'll pay you $100. GiveMeTheVin.com. You go to the site, enter your car's VIN or license plate number, and you will get an offer in minutes on your car, well above any dealer quote. You can go to one of their pickup locations or they'll come to you. It's easy. It's fast. It's GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny again tomorrow. Highs around 80 metro LA, upper 80s in the valleys, upper 70s in the high desert, low to mid 70s for the beaches, low 80s inland OC, mid 80s to low 90s and windy for the IE. Right now, 77 in San Juan Capistrano, 87 in Stanton, back to the 10 in El Monte.
It's the eastbound side at Peck Road where a crash involving up to 6 cars has been blocking, oh boy, the carpool and 3 left lanes. I just received word a few minutes ago that the 2 right lanes are now open for business, but the drive is just a huge mess all the way out of City Terrace. It's getting really close to that 5 freeway. So heads up here. You may want to seek an alternate surface streets in the surrounding area. There's Hellman Avenue to the south of the 10, or to the north, there's Glendon Way. So the 60 eastbound looks like it's selling out pretty quickly here. Delays from the 5 all the way to the 605. And Pasadena East 210 loading up from Mountain as you travel towards Citrus. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
My name is Jessica Cashew, and I drive a Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road.
Toyota makes the vehicles, you make it yours.
I've done quite a bit to the truck. I started with wheels and tires. Suspension was next, and then I just redid the exhaust system, so super excited about that.
Now it's easier than ever to modify your Toyota at your local Toyota dealer. We're partnering with leading accessory brands like ARB, Fox, Rigid, Rhino, and more, so you can customize with confidence.
The truck gives me that possibility to get out there and go places that other people aren't able to go. I took it all the way up to Utah for an archery competition. So it's fun. It's a fun drive.
From lift kits to camping gear, modify your Toyota truck or SUV at your local Toyota dealer just the way you want with warranted custom work, or shop online at toyota.com/accessories. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-506-9295. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-506-9295. That's 800-506-9295. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Call 844-GO-SMILE to learn about the new Lifestyle Smile dental implants from Lasting Smiles.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
American Vision Windows. Book by May 31st and save 25% off windows and doors.
Is your back or front yard the best part of your home? Well, it can be if you call System Pavers. And I've used them for paved driveways, synthetic turf, landscape lighting, because they simply do it right. No dead grass, no cracked concrete, no we'll fix it later projects that don't get fixed. And they don't just stop at making things look good. They build out full outdoor living spaces, barbecue islands, fire features, water features. Here's what happens. Your friends come over, take one look, and suddenly, oh, I want to do something similar. Now, that just means they're jealous. And through May 30th, System Pavers is offering free demolition and removal of your existing concrete, brick, or asphalt, and you get a recycling credit applied to your new project. Call 800-PAVE-004, 800-PAVE-004. Visit systempavers.com/KFI, systempavers.com/KFI. Website for full offer details, contractor's license 661-575.
This is primary season.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has now backed out of a mayoral debate.
And when the votes are cast on June 2nd,
I feel we're moving in the right direction.
KFI has all your coverage and the results.
80% of people do not think she's doing a good job.
Will the LA mayor's race end?
We need an outsider. No more politicians, no more lying.
Or has it just begun?
And under my watch, we will continue to do that.
KFI AM 640. Make us a preset on the free iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're on every day from 3 to 6. After 6 o'clock, the podcast, John Kobylt Show on demand, same as the radio show. And we're live on YouTube. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Run to your device. And that's where you go. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show. And hit subscribe. You already missed Deborah's appearance today. So later on, when it's posted, you could go searching for it.
You can see me looking and acting like a total dork.
You said that.
I did. I know.
I would have said something nice, but all right, we'll go with that. Steve Hilton coming on at 5 o'clock. There is a new poll out released by the California Democratic Party. It's their poll they commissioned. Steve Hilton is number one at 22%. Javier Baccaria is second at 21%. Steyer has fallen back to 15. So it's 22, 21 to 15. Chad Bianco is at 10. He looks to be out of it. We have already 2 weeks worth of voting in, and there's a lot of people voting. And Hilton is saying that Bianco ought to drop out of the race. So we are going to talk to Steve Hilton about that and other things coming up. Also, sad to say, but Tony Villar has shrunk to 1% of the vote in the poll.
All because he appeared on your show.
He was at 7 when he appeared on the show. He's now at 1. Just another political career that we have destroyed.
I thought he did a good job on your show.
Apparently nobody else agreed.
I know.
Probably all the progressives were appalled. So that's it for him. Runyon Canyon is a beautiful hiking trail. It's in Hollywood, actually north of Hollywood, about 2 blocks north of Hollywood Boulevard. And they have kept it protected all these years. For a long time, it was scheduled for real estate development. But they kept the real estate developers away. The only thing they didn't do is they never had a bathroom.
I never knew that. I've hiked there a few times. I guess I held it in.
I guess so. But I've gone there a couple of times. We don't go there because there's no parking. They don't have a parking lot either.
Oh, yeah. The parking's horrible.
And then you got to go into the residential, that's where the twisty, turny, narrow roads are, and park in front of someone's house. That's too much of a pain in the ass. So it's very popular, though. It's one of the most popular hiking areas in Los Angeles. If you can figure out where to park and if you don't mind going in the bushes. In fact, there was a website called Thrillist some years ago that had an article called The Top 10 Places to Pee at Runyon Canyon. It's obvious things like behind trees and all that. So finally, this is Nithya Raman's district. So Nithya Raman had a lot to do with actually getting the restroom, which you would think is a good thing, except they spent $1 million. $1 million for a 2-stall restroom. I'll break down the cost in a moment. Now, they get 2 million visitors a year. So right now there's 2 million visitors, 0 restrooms. And it's has been out of compliance with LA law. The standard is you're supposed to have one. And apparently LA city parks hardly have any bathrooms all across the city. In San Francisco, they have about 4 bathrooms per 10,000 residents. We have less than 1.5. So just like we have 2/3 of a police department and half a fire department, it looks like we have about 1/3 the number of public bathrooms at the park. Where is all the freaking money going? This is the basics. This is what I want them to run on. I don't care about their stupid freaking ideologies or their parties. I want bathrooms at the public parks. And there should be parking lots at Runyon Canyon, too. But let me break down the $1 million bathroom. Now, some people, because, up in the Hollywood Hills, there are a lot of Looney Tunes living there. And there are a lot of people who argued against the bathrooms, saying, well, if you're going to put bathrooms, then more people are going to come. Well, you've already got 2 million coming. You could let them pee. And they're worried about, is this LA Magazine? I can't tell where we got this from. Well, also, you're going to get more people experiencing homelessness. People experiencing homelessness. And in parentheses, who are underserved by LA's lack of public restrooms. Boy, you got a twofer there. You got people experiencing homelessness who are underserved. They're not supposed to be there. They're not underserved. They don't deserve to have a bathroom. They don't deserve to be, and they're living at the park, which is what's scary about going on these hiking trails. It's another reason my wife gave up on it, because there are too many creeps that wander around hiking trails now. They live up there. They're underserved. No, they're overserved. So it's $1 million. Now let me find the breakdown of the cost here. Here we go. The restroom itself cost $283,000. Watch this balloon to $1 million. But site preparation and adding utilities cost another $528,000. So the restroom is $283,000, which seems absurd.
Is it gold and marble?
You would think.
Are there bathtubs and showers in there?
What? I mean, $134,000 in permit fees. But it's the city that. It's a city-owned park.
And they were supposed to have restrooms there.
Yeah, by law. So why do you have to pay $134,000 in permit fees when the city owns the park? It's the city paying itself. And contingency funds, whatever that is. Site prep. Boy, that's vague. Yeah. Some campaign contributor, somebody's brother-in-law made a windfall here. And this is what happens in big cities. In San Francisco, they had a proposed restroom that was $1.7 million a few years ago, but there was such an outcry, they reduced it to about $700,000. They got vendors to donate their services and didn't charge for the building and installation costs. In New York City, park restrooms there cost an average of $3.5 million. That's just corruption. That's them stealing money. We all have bathrooms. They do not cost $1 million or $3 million each. It's only 2 stalls.
Well, what about the sinks? Are they amazing?
I don't know. What would make for an amazing sink?
A gold?
Gold-plated toilets.
But not plated.
Right, not plated, sorry. You know the difference. We've got Steve Hilton coming on after 5 o'clock. And the very popular Deborah Mark is now live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A brush fire in the Santa Ana River bottom in Jurupa Valley is spreading in the direction of homes. Firefighters say they're making slow but steady progress in trying to get control of the Sandy fire in Simi Valley. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We're going to go to the 405 next.
How many brokers does it take to insure your business? If you're like most business owners, the answer is too many. Multiple policies, multiple applications, no clear view of how it all fits together. And when questions come up, it's not easy to get the clarity you need. Super Short changes that. It's one broker for all your business insurance, backed by a team that works with you year-round, not just at renewal. And if you've ever stared at a policy wondering, what does this actually cover? Super Sure has a fine print fax tool that translates the legal jargon into plain English, so you know what's covered and what's not. The whole world should be like this. Right now, you can go to supersure.com and get a full report on your current policies, no obligation. And you will find out if you're overinsured, underinsured, or somewhere in between. Go to supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform, and all your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com, supersure.com.
From the
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Wait your turn.
I know. I always forget. From the Odoo.com Weather Center, Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny tomorrow, highs upper 70s to low 90s. This report brought to you by Whole Foods Market. From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Crash on the 405 in Costa Mesa.
So this one is along the northbound side, just past or coming right up on Fairview. That's where everything's been cleared off to the left shoulder. So I guess the center divider. Yeah. Watch for delays here. Northbound side of the 405, backing up all the way from the 133 out of Irvine. And then you've got that situation in El Monte on the 10 eastbound at Peck Road. 2 right lanes are getting through due to this 5-car wreck. Huge delays backing up out of City Terrace. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Finish the night with indulgent favorites from Whole Foods Market. Get 2 Ben & Jerry's and Talenti frozen pints for $8 with Prime through May 26th. Mix and match your favorite flavors and toppings. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Hurry, offer ends 5/21. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Imagine a scenario where you or your loved one faces a threat. Your first instinct might be to use lethal force, but it's crucial to consider a less lethal alternative first to avoid the legal complications. Introducing Byrna. Byrna's less lethal launcher. This device is equipped with chemical irritants and kinetic rounds, designed to incapacitate an attacker for up to 40 minutes, providing a critical window for you to escape. Here's a real-life account from a Byrna customer named Adam. While heading to his night shift, Adam encountered a road-raging driver who swerved dangerously, stopped abruptly, and aggressively approached him. Adam dialed 911 and protected himself with his Byrna launcher. He aimed the laser at the aggressor's chest, which immediately de-escalated the situation. The driver returned to his vehicle and awaited the police. That night, Byrna saved 2 lives. Byrna is legal in all 50 states, requires no background checks, and can be conveniently shipped directly to your door. Over 750,000 units sold. Visit Byrna.com. That's BYRNA.com.
LNK's Therapy Thursday is a podcast. The stories are real, the drama is messy, and the advice is life-changing. Catch it now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts. LNK's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Are you avoiding shorts or dresses because of your varicose veins? You find yourself covering up, feeling self-conscious about how your legs look? Don't wait another minute. West Medical can treat varicose veins in under an hour with no downtime. That's right. One simple call and a quick procedure can help you feel confident again. Most treatments are affordable and covered by PPO insurance. Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL today. That's 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL or go to westmedical.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Call Lear Capital for your free gold investment kit. 800-225-8100.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds. You can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
It's the Marketer's Report. In this edition, Giovanni Martinez, Senior Director of Marketing and Innovation for Avocados from Mexico, weighs in on reach, frequency, and audio.
After researching and discussing with the team, we know that how powerful is audio. I mean, audio can really transmit emotions, and that's what we want. My company is so focused on performance. Every single thing we do, we measure it. So performance is key internally for the marketing team, and audio help us to do that, right? Because with the frequency, the reach that you can generate with that component is something that we always have as an add-on in our campaigns.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to all the audiences, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow, and all guaranteed human. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Skip this. Tap that red talkback mic on the iHeartRadio app while listening to your favorite station.
You guys rock.
Instant feedback. And the best feature, if you mess up,
hopefully I'm sending these messages correctly.
Do it again. Leave a talkback now on the free iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
The author joins us to talk about the new book, Torched, How a City Was Left to Burn and the Olympic Rush to Rebuild Los Angeles.
He says that fire in the Palisades was forecast and not random. Find out why on Monks and Merrill. Tomorrow, starting at noon, Monks and Merrill, KFI, AM 640.
John Kobylt Show, KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Moist line is 877-MOIST-86 for Friday, 877-MOIST-86, or go to the Talkback feature on the iHeart app. And watch us live on YouTube now, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Go now and watch. We got Steve Hilton coming on by phone after 5 o'clock. And I can't get enough of scam stories. This is a real good one. This is out of the LA Times. There is a guy who got scammed, an older man, got scammed out of $25,000. And it's such a stupid scam. Even the scammers couldn't believe it. So they tried it again the next night. Here's the story. This older man in Ventura gets a message with a return phone number and is told to call immediately. And It asked him to confirm a $350 Apple Store purchase made with his credit card. And the message asked this guy to speak with the scammer. Scammer tells him that his Ventura County credit union account was linked to child sex abuse based in Canada. You follow this? So he gets a message saying somebody's purchasing $350 at the Apple Store with your credit card. Please confirm and call this number. Calls the guy. He said, hey, your credit union account is linked to child sex abuse content based in Canada. So he was sent to a second scammer with that phone call. Someone claiming to be a member of the fraud department at Ventura County Credit Union. And this guy told the victim, withdraw $25,000 and meet an undercover Ventura police officer and give him the money as evidence. And they gave him a code phrase that the old guy was supposed to say to the fake undercover officer. And he did all that. And he delivered the $25,000 to the scammers. Then the next day, he and his wife realized, oh, I think we were defrauded.
It's so sad.
She's whacking him over the head.
Oh, yeah.
So detectives met with the victim on March 19th, and they were interviewing him when he got a second scam message. This time they wanted $50,000. The scammer identified themselves as Jade, a woman. You see, always put a woman up front because all they have to do is wave. Jade and her team were part of a larger international fraud network, and they tried to collect $50,000 from the victim. But this time, Ventura police were there, and they arrested her. Her name is Jade Gu, G-U. And the guy involved is Shahua Sun. So Shahua Sun and Jade Good. And so they nailed it a second time. But I guess they got cocky because they probably thought this scam is too stupid. Nobody's going to fall for it. It's like, whoa, we found somebody willing to fall for this.
But why would they think they would? Well, I don't know.
Milk them for more.
Yeah. Why did they try it on someone else?
Yeah. This is what's terrifying about growing old. I think I got to train myself. I don't answer the phone anyway. Like I never answer the phone. Not even my own cell phone. I don't answer it most of the time. I just assume there's a scammer.
But I mean, some of these people, I wonder if they have some cognitive issues, cognitive decline. Well, they're elderly. Not saying every elderly person does, by the way.
Well, actually, at a certain age, I think like by age 85, about half of them do. So you got like a 50-50 shot. So you have the girl, you have Ms. Gu here, and she starts sweet talking you. I maybe the elderly should have their phones taken away from them at a certain age.
Or their credit cards.
Their credit cards. But I mean, it's child sex abuse in Canada. I mean, imagine getting that. It's like, get out of here.
Well,
delete, disconnect.
But some people are a little naive, or they're not fully capable of understanding that it's a scam.
Not fully operational.
Exactly.
I guess I don't get it, but I'll probably end up.
I was going to say, if you ever do,
I got to be careful.
You do,
because I'm pretty whiffy anyway right now. All right, when we come back, Steve Hilton's coming on. Steve Hilton is still doing well. Latest poll out from the Democratic Party has Hilton on top with 22%. Javier Baccaria at 21%. Steyer at 15%. Chad Bianco fading at 10%. Mrs. Potato Head at 7%. Matt Mahan, the San Jose mayor, is completely wiped out at 4%. And the late Tony Villar down to 1%. When we come back, Steve Hilton after Deborah's News, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI. and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Fire in Riverside County. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A brush fire in the Santa Ana River bottom in Jurupa Valley has burned 600 acres, spread in the direction of homes. 3 people have been treated for smoke inhalation, another what's being called traumatic injuries. The fire has prompted authorities to issue mandatory evacuations. The Riverside County Fire Department says the fire started late this morning, just north of the Hidden Valley Nature Center. Firefighters say they're making slow but steady progress in trying to get control of the Sandy fire in Simi Valley. It's burned almost 1,400 acres. It's still just 5% surrounded. Ventura County Fire Department spokesperson Rico Stanley tells KTLA they plan to continue water drops through the night.
Air support will be going around the clock. We plan to be here for the next few days fighting this fire.
About 17,000 people are being affected by evacuation orders and warnings. Law enforcement in San Diego says the shooting at the city's Islamic Center, in which 3 men were killed, is being investigated as a hate crime. ABC's Alex Stone says people have been dropping off flowers and candles at the mosque.
The mosque itself is closed today, but there are members of the Islamic Center of San Diego who are coming in. They are embracing one another.
Authorities say the 2 teenagers involved in the shooting shared a broad hatred toward different religions and races. The mother of 2 boys killed by the co-founder of the Grossman Burn Foundation has testified in court.
Nancy Iskander and her husband are suing Rebecca Grossman and former Dodgers pitcher Scott Erickson over the high-speed hit-and-run crash that killed their 8 and 11-year-old sons in 2020. Family pictures and video were shown in court as Nancy talked about special moments with her children. The father, Kareem, testified earlier how 8-year-old Jacob was the boy he always wished to be. Grossman was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison for the murders. Reckless driving charges were dropped against Erickson, who was accused of street racing with Grossman when the crash happened. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
The city of LA has reached a deal to delay minimum wage increases for some hotel and airport workers in exchange for industry groups dropping a ballot initiative that could have eliminated the city's business tax, which raises about $800 million a year. Some labor unions aren't happy with the deal, saying they wanted the higher wages to be in effect by the 2028 Olympics. But city officials say the loss of the business tax would be financially devastating. City council members Eunices Hernandez and Isabel Jurado have endorsed LA Mayor Bass for re-election. They say Bass understands both the urgency of this moment and the promise of LA. Both council members say Bass's leadership is grounded in real-life experience as an organizer in South LA and as a healthcare worker at County General Hospital's emergency room. Nationwide enrollment in the Affordable Care Act marketplace could drop by nearly 5 million people this year.
A new analysis from healthcare research nonprofit KFF finds ACA program enrollment could shrink by more than 20%, and those who remain covered are paying more, with average deductibles growing by over $1,000. The drop-off's partly due to the expiration of COVID-era subsidies on January 1st, which forced Americans to make tough decisions about their coverage. Middle-income Americans are dropping coverage more than other groups. One of the report's authors does suggest one silver lining. Insurers may have already planned for these changes, potentially stabilizing future costs. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
President Trump says the U.S. could restart hostilities against Iran in several days. The president has rejected Iran's response to a U.S. memorandum to restart talks. Vice President Vance says the U.S. wants Iran to put the brakes on any development of a nuclear program for at least 20 years.
We are not going to have a deal that allows the Iranians to have a nuclear weapon. So as the president just told me, we're locked and loaded. We don't want to go down that pathway, but the president is willing and able to go down that pathway.
Iran potentially developing a nuclear program is one of the main sticking points stopping talks to end the war from resuming. Southland weather from KFI, sunny tomorrow. Highs around 80 metro LA, upper 80s in the valleys, upper 70s in the high desert. Low to mid 70s for the beaches, low 80s in Lindosi, mid 80s to low 90s and windy in the IE. Right now it's 76 in Dana Point, 86 in Anaheim, 85 in Diamond Bar. It's 80 in Simi Valley. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supersure, supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed down 322, S&P 500 down 49, NASDAQ down 220. Update on that crash on the 10 in El Monte.
On the eastbound side at Peck Road, all lanes have opened. They've cleared this crash, which is amazing. They did it quickly, even though it involved 5 or 6 cars and 2 of them overturned. All lanes open. We're still looking at a terrible drive getting out of City Terrace all the way from City Terrace Drive. The 60 eastbound also extra slow from the 5 to the 605. And in Pasadena, the 210 eastbound delays from Mountain as you travel in stretches all the way into Rialto. Let's take a look at the drive on the 15. This is northbound into the Cajon Pass, with Cajon Boulevard still off limits, I believe, between Cleghorn and Glen Helen. They may have just reopened that, but maybe an hour ago it was still closed. But we're still seeing extra heavy traffic for the 15 northbound Glen Helen Parkway all the way to the 138, and southbound slowing away from Ranchero Road as you travel back towards Cleghorn. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Is it time to downsize? Selling your home doesn't have to be a hassle.
With Seller's Advantage, you can skip the commissions and costly repairs. By the time you pay for repairs, you could have already sold your home for a fair competitive price without the worry of the deal falling through.
Here's what Chris Chavez, a real Seller's Advantage customer, had to say. Seller's Advantage was definitely the best company I've worked with. They offered me more than I expected, and the whole process was great. They were helpful, always answered the phone, and willing to help. I can't say enough about the experience. Much better than going through a realtor.
Get your free no obligation cash offer today. Call Seller's Advantage at 888-321 as is. 888-321 as is.
That's 888-321-2747 or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 0196168. Providence Realty DRE number 019152212.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. It's the John Kobylt Show. We're on every day, 3 to 6, and the podcast will be released in about an hour. John Kobylt Show on demand in case you missed anything. And we are live on YouTube, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. So join us, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Let's get Steve Hilton on. Steve Hilton, according to a new poll released by the Democratic Party today, or released by a pollster that they hired, has Steve in first place in the race for governor at 22%. Becerra at 21, Steyer at 15, Chad Bianco at 10. Steve Hilton, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling this weird combination, John, because I've never run for office before, so I don't know what to make of it. 2 weeks till elections. The election day is now, and yesterday and tomorrow, of course, because we've got ballots. It ends in 2 weeks. It's good to be leading, but I'm also very, very conscious that we can't take anything for granted. This is good news today, but of course last week we had that poll that had a three-way tie at the top with myself, Becerra, and Steyer. This poll today is more in line with other polls that have shown a bit of a gap between myself and Becerra together at the top and everyone else. But, I'm not taking it for granted. We've got to fight all the way to the end. And really the message is, if we want to guarantee the chance of change in California, we've got to get a Republican in the top two. Right now, there's only one choice, and that's me.
Yeah, you're at 22, and Chad Bianco's at 10, and we talked about this last time you were on. I've had Chad on for years, being the Riverside County Sheriff, on many news stories and other political issues, and he's always been a great guest. He's always been very smart. Yeah. I really, really liked him. And if you weren't running and he was the top Republican, I'd say go Chad Bianco. But clearly, he's not drawing.
Yeah, me too.
He's not drawing the crowd you're drawing. You've got more than double. And I think, to ensure absolutely that you get in, I think Chad should urge his followers to switch to you if they haven't voted yet. I just think that's the practical, pragmatic thing to do, because what's important is to stop really a third term of Gavin Newsom.
Yes, exactly. Look, if you get a top two of Becerra and Tom Steyer, it's over for California. I don't want to be too melodramatic, but really, how much more can we take of the insanity, the taxes, the regulations? We know there'll be a stampede of businesses leaving. There's a huge number of businesses that are just hanging on in the hope that we can get elected in November and start to turn things around. I hear it all the time from many, many really major businesses that this is the last chance for California. And if it doesn't go the right way, we are out. And we already have the highest unemployment rate in America. We already have the highest poverty rate in America, the highest taxes, etc. And so if we drive ourselves to the brink and go over the edge by having two Democrats in the top two, which means zero chance of change, they will be outbidding each other on the left, going further and further left. I mean, I don't know what to say. And apart from anything else, all the other elections on the ballot in November will be at risk, because if we don't have a strong Republican candidate at the top of the ticket in the governor's race, it will massively demoralize everyone. It will mean a much lower Republican turnout in November. That means all of these congressional races, which could be vital for keeping control of the House, all of the state legislative races, which we need to win, even voter ID could be at risk. So this is a huge deal. And I just don't want us to take it for granted. Yes, it's looking good, but anyone who's listening who thinks Steve's got it in the bag, he'll be in the top two, so I can safely vote for Chad because I like Chad. I like Chad. I agree with you, everything you said about him, but we cannot take the risk. Basically, a vote for Chad at this point is a vote that could put two Democrats in the top two by splitting the Republican vote. I don't want us to take that risk.
And two Democrats, Becerra and Steyer, who I watched. Well, you had to sit through every minute of the debate. I'm not going to say I lasted through every minute of every debate. But what I heard, I didn't hear either one of them stray from a single Newsom policy. Maybe you did, since you had to. I mean, did you hear any one of them break with any Newsom policy?
No, I want to be really accurate and fair. Becerra is Newsom, more of the same, but even less competent, if that's possible, even more useless. I mean, look at the way his record at the HHS is now coming under scrutiny from within HHS Biden officials, who are all saying he was completely useless. And as I said many times, if people in the Biden administration think you're incompetent, what does that say about you? So he's basically Newsom, but even less competent. Steyer is even worse, because all his positions are further and further left, more left-wing than what we've got now. He wants to abolish ICE. He literally wants to bring back criminal, illegal immigrants who've been deported. He wants single-payer health care. I mean, this guy's crazy.
Steyer wants illegal alien criminals to be brought back, to be undeported?
That's what he said. Yes, it's insane. I mean, he's running around. What's happening, John?
I hadn't heard that one.
No, I mean, it's just too much. I mean, the thing is, he's running around desperate to try and get votes, because he's already spent it's unbelievable the amount of money. He spent $200 million. Okay, $193 million. He's already spent it.
It'll be $200 million by the end of the hour.
Of course. And so he's still, not making the top two in this latest poll. So what he's been doing is running around pandering to every left-wing group he can find. The unions, the immigration activists, all these groups. That's why he's taken these positions that are so far left. He's desperate for their support. But it's crazy. You just think, when it's so obvious that we need change in California, and majority of Californians agree with that, way beyond just Republicans. And yet you've got the choice, if it's those two, between more of the same or even worse. We can't have that. We've got to have change in California.
Yeah, I've seen some of the panel shows on CNN where they've had former Biden officials say that Becerra was practically a laughingstock. And I've seen some of the video podcasts for some of the former Biden officials. Now they're hosting podcasts and they're saying, oh, this guy was bad. They had to hide him.
Exactly. And it's just unbelievable to me that he's actually running. I mean, this is why, all this will be much more aggressively prosecuted when I'm in the final against him, because the record is a disaster. And apart from anything else, he's been 36 years a career politician, 36 years. That's all he's done. I mean, this guy's just unbelievable. Exactly the same kind of useless machine politician that we're sick of in California. The same as Newsom, Karen Bass, Kamala Harris, all these people. All they ever do is run for office They keep getting elected because of California. Then if you're a Democrat, the machine puts you across the line. You're the puppet of the unions, the puppet of the activists. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I also said earlier that you've run a really terrific campaign. I mean, what you've done with your California Doge unit, where you found well over $400 billion dollars worth of fraud. And if somebody thinks that's a fanciful figure, the last year of the Schwarzenegger term, the budget was about $100 billion. It's gone up to about $350 billion. So to find
exactly right, that's the number.
That's right. So to find $90 billion of fraud a year the last 5 years is not a stretch, because it's
it's around 20% of the budget, something like that, if you even it out, across the years. I remember Elon Musk, when he was looking at this from the federal point of view, his kind of estimate after spending a few months on it was that the federal government, he thought the estimate for fraud, waste, and abuse in the federal budget was about 30%. So if anything, we're undercounting it.
Yeah. And that explains when people say, well, how did we get from 100 billion to 350 billion? And everything's gotten worse. Like, nobody can point to one thing that has gotten better, because we tripled and then some the revenue.
Not one thing. Everything is worse. And when we say worse, it's not just that we're doing badly. It's that we are literally the worst performing state of all 50 states on almost everything that matters. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you look at, just pick anything, unemployment, poverty, cost of living, the roads, we have the highest gas tax, highest vehicle registration fees, and we're 50th out of 50 for the quality of our roads. And just an example there, this is one of the things that just shows you their mentality. I'm on the debate stage with Becerra. I say we got to suspend the gas tax and cut it. Immediately suspend it and in the long term cut it. And Becerra goes, well, how are we going to pay for the roads? All right, I actually met a lady who runs a road construction company, public works business construction. She builds roads all over the country. She told me that it costs 4 times as much to build the exact same piece of road in California as it does in Texas. And they have better roads than we do. So all of this is because of the ridiculous regulations that inflate the cost, the sweetheart deals with unions, all these things, project labor agreements, community workforce agreements, endless environmental inspections, audits, legal fees, all this bloat and nonsense.
I've seen
loaded onto everything in California.
I've seen your exchanges with Becerra on the gas tax, and he has that same line. How are we going to fix the roads? You're not fixing the roads. We are 49th or 50th in every major road category in the country. Reason Magazine, every March they put out a list. It just came out a little while ago. We have the worst roads overall in the continental United States. We're 49th. And for city, urban highways and thoroughfares, we're 50th.
Exactly. And I can tell you, I mean, I probably drive more than anyone else in the state. And honestly, it's just unbelievable. You just the potholes, the bumps, you just think, what is this? Newsom keeps bragging about how we're the 4th biggest economy in the world. Yeah, with third world roads, basically. Yeah. Just ridiculous.
Well, it's so heavily weighted to the tech industry. It's everybody else that's having a hard time.
That's what it is. And the other thing I just want to say about that is exactly right. That explains that number, 4th biggest economy. He's not lying when he says that. That is true based on the overall size of our economy. But that is, number one, it's driven by a very small number of giant tech companies that make a lot of money. I'm all fine with that, but they don't create many jobs. But the second thing that is overlooked, the size of the economy includes the size of the government. So when they doubled the budget, that's what's driving the number higher. That is not a healthy basis for an economy.
No. Steve Hilton, thank you for coming on, and we will talk again before Election Day. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great to be with you, John. Thanks.
Steve Hilton, number 1 in the polls. That's according to the Democratic Party poll. Hilton at 22 and Becerra at 21. Steyer back at 15. More coming up. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Thousands of people still affected by evacuation orders and warnings caused by the Sandy fire in Simi Valley. Authorities say the 2 teens who shot and killed 3 people in an attack on a mosque in San Diego had been radicalized online where they first met. We will have more at the bottom of the hour. We'll check the freeways next.
Lasting Smiles Dental Implants. We had a huge response to their April Smile special. So I got them to extend it into May. But they're only offering a limited number of spots at these prices. So pay attention to me. You got ugly, disgusting teeth? They're missing? And you're waiting for the right deal? Well, stop waiting. Here's the deal. You'll get a free comprehensive dental exam with 3D imaging, a custom treatment plan, payments as low as $149 a month, $149 a month on approved credit. This is limited, first come, first serve. Call now, lock in your spot, mention KFI or John, and get this incredible deal. LastingSmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE.
Southline weather from KFI, sunny tomorrow, highs upper 70s to low 90s. This report brought to you by Adam Miller for mayor. From your Toyota dealers traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 405 in Carson. All right, we'll check back with Angel in the next
This
report.
June, the world comes to Los Angeles. Kick off FIFA World Cup 2026 at the FIFA Fan Festival at the iconic Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Watch matches live on giant screens. Feel every goal with thousands of fans. And celebrate with music, culture, and flavors from around the world. Join us June 11th through 14th, opening weekend, as the tournament kicks off in Los Angeles. Tickets are just $10 and kids under 12 are free. Get yours now at Los Angeles FWC26.com.
Los Angeles politicians have promised fixes for years. Nothing changes. Adam Miller is different. He's kept thousands off the streets, built a global company here in LA, and led disaster recovery nationwide. 35 years solving hard problems and getting results. Vote Adam Miller for mayor.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, pros save more on the materials you need to get the job done, inside and out. Right now, get 10% off in-stock Trex Naturals decking, now available in more styles. Plus, get 15% off select custom entry, interior, and storm doors. Valid through 5/27 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Trust, price, and ease of transaction. That is GiveMeTheVin.com. We love to buy cars, and you're going to love GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-506-9295. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-506-9295. That's 800-506-9295. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
I'm Michelle McPhee, and in my new podcast, Kingdom of Fraud, I'm unraveling the strangest criminal alliance I've ever reported on. A polygamist from Utah and an LA Armenian businessman.
$1 billion fraud.
But how long can this alliance last?
Is somebody coming after me?
Search Kingdom of Fraud on iHeartRadio, America's #1 podcast network, and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
You ever thought about changing your partner selection or brand usage processes after the strippers showed up to the company party?
Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow at 9.
$1,000 giveaway now.
Now is your opportunity to win $1,000. Yes! Just enter the nationwide keyword on our website. Deposit. That's deposit. DEPOSIT. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash. Brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
Deposit. That's the word at KFI AM 640. No, wait. Let me get it right. at KFIAM640.com/cash. That's where you enter the word deposit. If you win, you'll get an email. Check your junk and spam folder to see if you won, and listen to KFI for the winning keyword every hour, every weekday. Starts at 9 in the morning with Gary and Shannon all the way to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And next chance to win is going to be tomorrow morning at 9:20 with Gary and Shannon here on KFI. All right, we just had Steve Hilton on, and he is on top at 22%. And just to reiterate, because this is really important, we cannot have a final runoff in November between Javier Baccaria and Tom Steyer. Hilton's on top by a point over Becerra, by 7 points over Baccaria. No, I reversed that. He's up by a point over Baccaria, by 7 points over Steyer. Steyer's the odd man out right now, and he is an odd man, and he is out. But you never know, okay? It's only a poll. There's margins of error. It's in the middle of voting. Half the people have voted. Half the people haven't voted, I guess. And you never, you don't know what's going to motivate people to change their votes now, because now that we have these polls that are coming out in the middle of voting, people are going to start voting strategically. So don't take any chances. I have all the respect for the Chad Bianco voters, but I really think if you haven't voted, you got to switch to Steve Hilton, because the most important thing is to keep both Becerra and Steyer, at least one of them, out of the finals. Because I have tried. I've read everything, watched everything I could. Well, I think Steve put it well. I mean, Becerra is going to extend the Newsom regime, but he's more incompetent. And to the extent that Steyer is going to do something different, it's going to be even more left-wing. This would work. I hadn't heard of this one. We're trying to get deported illegal aliens returned, criminal aliens. He used to invest in immigration jails. So I think he's truly clinically nuts, Steyer. It's something wrong there. Now, my friend Drew Hayes, he's got a piece at onlaca.com. And this is from a podcast involving Karen Bass. And this is where the Bass brain is. Jonathan Capehart was a co-anchor. I think was on MSNBC. And he said, Mayor Bass, elections are more about the future than they are the past. Right, says Bass. You're asking for people to give you a second term. What are you going to do with a second term that you weren't able to do with the first? Well, let me just tell you, complete many of the things I've been working on. You could just hear her in that little grandmotherly delivery. Oh, just many of the things I've been working on. For example, we have a terrible problem in LA with copper wire theft, which means our streetlights go out all the time. Well, now, notice, did nothing to stop the copper wire theft. And maybe if we had a fully funded police department, we wouldn't have this problem. This is her quote. Well, about a month ago, I've rolled out a plan to install 60,000 solar lights moving away from copper. And we're installing a couple of hundred a month. A couple of hundred a month. You want the math on that? 200 a month times 12 months a year, that's 2,400 a year. So if you're going to install 60,000 new lights at that rate, that's going to be 25 years. And they've mailed a separate tax for you to vote on to all the households to pay for this. They're not even using the money. You've already paid for street lights. You've already assumed you were going to get street lights for the tax money you pay. Now you've got to pay extra money, $100 to $300 a year. And in 25 years, there might be a new street light in your neighborhood. In 25 years. But she says this with a straight face and that stupid smile of hers. And Capehart just nods along. It's like that Channel 7 clip I played where she agrees. The anchor will state how terrible something is, and she agrees. That's her little trick. She smiles and agrees. So you're thinking, oh, well, she agrees. All right, she knows what's going on. And then says something inane, which you don't catch unless you do the math. We're installing a couple of hundred a month. Well, that sounds like a lot. No, it's not a lot, because there's 60,000 lights that have to be replaced. And she gets away with it. because most of the anchors are progressive and they're potted plants, and they don't even have the brain power to keep up with Karen Bass. She just starts flicking out these statistics. Oh, yeah, okay, well, all right, you got a plan there. And that's the first thing she pulls out. She was asked an open-ended question. What are you going to do with a second term that you weren't able to do in the first? Streetlights are a problem, yes, but they're about number 7 on the list. Now, when we come back, the LA Times is officially afraid of Spencer Pratt. They're starting to criticize him. And what we're going to do next is Christopher Rufo, along with Kenneth Schrupp, they write for City Journal. They have done their own homeless count and has found that 64% of the homeless are not from the city of LA, which we always suspected. We're going to talk about that next. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
About 17,000 people have been affected by evacuation orders and warnings caused by the Sandy fire in Simi Valley. Authorities say it has burned almost 1,700 acres. It's still just 5% surrounded. Homeowner Jen Barrow tells KTLA she felt like it was a touch-and-go situation when that fire suddenly blew into her neighborhood.
No exaggeration, no drama. I thought, this is it. You couldn't breathe. The smoke was so hot and burning. Through masks and N95s, you couldn't breathe.
The Ventura County Fire Department says it'll keep water dropping efforts going through tonight as firefighters continue to try and get more control over the fire. Authorities say the security guard killed in the San Diego mosque shooting prevented more people from being shot through his brave actions. He called for the facility to be on lockdown, which police say saved the lives of those inside. Imam Taha Hussein says the other 2 men killed also gave their lives trying to help.
They were hiding in the parking lot next to the kitchen. They tried to do something to protect, but unfortunately, they sacrificed their lives.
The FBI says its agents have found hate writings in a car in which the 2 teenagers involved in the shooting killed themselves. Police say they believe there are more victims of a dirty old man in Riverside.
Cops say they arrested a 77-year-old man in March after a woman said she was touched inappropriately while hiking Mount Rubidoux. Investigators say Tao Pham routinely hikes Mount Rubidoux in the morning, and they believe there may be other victims of his unwanted touching. They're asking anyone to call them if they've seen anyone approaching women around Mount Rubidoux. Pham is currently out on bail. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
LA Mayor Bass says the commercial direct install program is helping to reduce energy costs for businesses across LA. She says so far the CDI program has served more than 51,000 customers.
We have cumulatively saved enough energy for about 73,000 average size LA homes and reduced carbon emissions by more than 275 million pounds.
She says this underscores her commitment to sustainability and supports her recently released Climate Action Plan, which sets goals to achieve carbon neutrality by 2045 and 100% carbon-free energy by 2035. Laguna Beach is banning canopies, tents, and other tents, and other types of large shade coverings on the sand. Only umbrellas will be allowed starting next week, and they have to meet certain size requirements. Violators can be fined up to $500. Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie, one of the most vocal Republican critics of President Trump, has lost his fight for re-election to a challenger endorsed by the president. The Senate has advanced legislation that aims to force President Trump to withdraw from the war in Iran. The 50-47 vote shows a small but crucial number of Republicans voting to stop the conflict. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy, who lost a primary election after Trump endorsed his opponent, switched sides to vote to end the war. And crowded airspace, an air traffic controller shortage, and airline scheduling practices are among the things slowing you down at the airports.
The Plain Truth 2026 report on air travel found that on-time arrivals last year hit their lowest level since 2014, with nearly 1 in 4 flights delayed, canceled, or diverted. 1 in 12 flights on the nation's 10 largest airlines arrived at least an hour late, and more than 700 tarmac delays in the U.S. lasted more than 3 hours. Hawaiian Airlines posted the best on-time performance of the major carriers and had among the lowest cancellation rates, while Frontier, JetBlue, and American Airlines ranked among the worst performers for delays and cancellations. Amy King, KFI News.
Memorial Day is a time to honor great service, and at American Vision Windows, their family is looking out for yours. From May 17th through the end of the month, take advantage of their Memorial Day sale and save 25% on your entire project. But that's not all. As a special token of appreciation, we're including a free Sun Matrix package upgrade. That's a genuine glow up for your home's comfort and your utility savings, air conditioning, heating. They've installed over 1 million windows for California homeowners at American Vision Windows, getting most jobs done in a day. So don't let this offer pass you by. You save 25%. Get your Sun Matrix upgrade before May 31st. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. American Vision Windows, California's most trusted window replacement company. Visit them at AmericanVisionWindows.com or call 888-771-2188.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow. Highs around 80. Metro LA, upper 80s in the valleys, upper 70s in the high desert. Low to mid 70s for the beaches, low 80s inland OC, mid 80s to low 90s and windy for the IE. Right now, 81 in Laguna Woods and 81 in Rancho Santa Margarita.
Is it time to downsize? Well, selling your home doesn't have to be a hassle. With Seller's Advantage, you can skip the agents, the real estate agents, the commissions, and all the costly repairs. Here's what Chris Chavez has to say, because Seller's Advantage buys with cash as is. And Chris was a real customer and said Seller's Advantage was definitely the best company I've worked with. They offered me more than I expected. The whole process was great. They were helpful. Always answered the phone. I can't say enough about the experience. Much better than going through a realtor. Get your free, no-obligation cash offer today. They buy the home as is for cash. Call Seller's Advantage, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-2747, sellersadvantage.com.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 01961658. Providence Realty DRE number 01915212.
This Memorial Day, celebrate all month long at Nissan of Carson. Get 0 down, 0% APR for 60 months and 0 payments for 90 days on select new Nissans. No markups. That's pricing you can trust. Visit Nissan of Carson and drive home happy.
Here's what your financial advisor won't tell you. By the time the news says buy gold, it's too late. Right now, everybody's waiting on the ceasefire, waiting on the headlines, waiting to see what happens next. But gold isn't waiting for you. You can wait or you can prepare. You can't do both. Noble Gold Investments helps Americans protect their savings with physical gold and silver shipped to your door or held in a tax-advantaged IRA. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment decisions.
Have you inherited a home and want to avoid the stress and hassle of selling? Call Wedgwood Homes first to discuss your options. Inheriting a home can be overwhelming. Probate paperwork, multiple heirs, property taxes, repairs, and maybe even an existing mortgage. With Wedgwood Homes, there's no need to clean or clear out the house and no repairs or updates. We buy as is and provide a fast, reliable, all-cash offer. No commissions, no hassle. The Wedgwood Homes team can guide you through the process with experts in probate, trusts, and shared inheritance. Wedgwood Homes' offer is firm with no strings and no last-minute price drops like other cash buyers. We can close in as little as 3 days or on your timeline. Avoid competing with new inventory and demanding buyers in the real estate market. Let Wedgwood Homes ease the process so you can help your family move forward. Call 800-307-2010 today for your no-obligation cash offer. That's 800-307-2010. 800-307-2010 or wedgwoodhomes.com. Southern California's trusted home buyer for 40 years.
Are you tired of being blind? If you've been thinking about LASIK, think Excel Laser Vision. Glasses, contacts, fix it with LASIK. I did almost 20 years ago. Until May 31, mention I sent you and you'll get the most advanced LASIK for as low as $62 a month per eye with no interest financing. Stop looking, start seeing. For a free consultation, dial #250 on your cell and say the keyword Excel Eye. pound 250 on the cell, say Excel-I, or visit exceli.com.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
Termites active? Call Pacific Coast Termite. No tenting, plus 10% off. Call 1-800-PACIFIC.
Call Lear Capital for your free gold investment kit. 800-225-8100.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
AMCO, with over 40 centers serving Southern California.
KFI, you guys are awesome.
I can leave it on all day and enjoy everything I'm listening to.
They talk about the news that we don't normally hear on mainstream news.
I am a fan. I literally have it like in my ear constantly. KFI keeps me entertained, keeps a smile on my face.
KFI. KFI. AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. It is the John Kobylt Show, and we're live on YouTube, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. And the podcast comes out in about a half an hour shortly after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. All right. So Christopher Rufo, he's a journalist, investigator, writes for City Journal. He and Kenneth Schrupp, they did their own homeless count in 3 neighborhoods, Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row, because they were suspicious. Back in 2020, LASA found that 1/3 of the vagrants were from outside of LA County. In 2024, the Rand Corporation said 41% of the street homeless were across 3 neighborhoods. They only surveyed 3, but 3 big ones for homeless. Hollywood, Venice, Skid Row. 41%, their last home was outside LA County. The thing is, both LASA and the Rand Corporation buried that information deep in their reports where it was hard for anyone to find. And of course, with the lazy asses in the media, it didn't get much play. In fact, Christopher Rufo asked LASA and Rand why they buried the data. And LASA said it stopped because respondents' varying interpretations of the question. That's gibberish. Rand said it hid the data to save costs on publishing. That makes no sense either. Actually, what it is, as they point out, these are progressive people at progressive organizations, and they have to hide any data that makes their policies look foolish. So they decided, Rufo decided, and Kenneth Schrupp, that they'd do it themselves. They spent 2 days recreating Rand's study of the vagrant population using a larger sample size. They approached people on the streets in Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row. They identified themselves and said, they asked more than 200 homeless people a simple question: where are you from originally? Here are the results. What you suspect. 64% of the LA street homeless surveyed said they were from outside the city of Los Angeles. 64% outside the city. 53% said they were outside of LA County. Significantly higher than the LASA and Rand studies. 40% said they were from other states. Mostly states that voted for Trump in 2024. They came from the red states. 6% said they were from other countries, including Cuba, Venezuela, and North Korea. Some of these residents were candid, saying they came here because of the weather or the generous services. In Hollywood, a young woman named Norika said after being a foster child in New York, she served in the Marine Corps. She arrived in L.A., days before, and she pointed to her teeth. They were clean and straight, said she didn't use drugs. Holding a plastic bottle of vodka, said she was drinking to cope with the pain of living on the streets. She'd already been raped. Yeah, we've got nice weather, generous services, and rapists walking the street because that's what Bass allows. On Skid Row, they encountered a guy who was about to inject some drugs. Came from a small town in upstate New York for sobriety treatment, but he left because he thought the place was shady. He did not elaborate and went back to preparing his drug injection. And what Rufo writes, and this is correct, for years, homelessness policy has been rooted in the idea that the condition is a housing problem. Well, of course, because that's how you can rip off the most money. If you say the only solution is to build homes and the homes have to be built for $1 million each, boy, is that a windfall for everybody involved, huh? Now you can buy buildings, build buildings, send the homeless into the buildings with supportive services, and money is raining down because you successfully manipulate the voters into thinking that they're heartless beasts for not embracing building thousands of new homes or apartments. But Rufo says, actually, they respond to incentives, the homeless. They flock to places where it's easy to camp, do their drugs, and commit crimes. And the government provides the housing, the benefits, and the drug paraphernalia, and that's what we've done. We give out the crack pipes, the meth pipes, and the needles. We give out the syringes to inject heroin and fentanyl. We'll feed you all day, and we'll give you free medical care. In fact, that's the drum Karen Bass was banging the other day. Feels bad for all the meth addicts with no teeth. It's like we have to give them free teeth. So somebody in a state out in the Midwest or South has been tossed out into the street by their parents because the parents can't live with a guy who's up all night and is loud and unruly and disgusting and is stealing and is abusive. So they toss him out. He gets on a bus and he comes here because he's on his phone all day. He could see. Like one homeless guy once said, I remember, he's got beachfront property in Venice. You go there, you bring your bedroll and your tent and your pipes and your needles and your drugs, and you can sit out on the beach, and dumbass Karen Bass isn't going to stop you. And neither will the county supervisors. Those 5 lunatics. 64% are from outside L.A. They are not Angelinos. They are not your brothers. Remember, that was the big lie Garcetti like to tell. These are your fellow Angelino brothers. Not my brother. My brother goes to work for a living. He's had a job all his life. These aren't brothers. These are people tossed out into the street from 2,000 miles away. But if he says brothers, you get emotionally manipulated and you feel like, well, we've got to do something. No, you don't. No, you don't. Some guy who's pissed off his whole family because of his abusive drug addict antics doesn't mean I've got to pay for him and give him teeth and give him food and give him a place to stay. No, I don't. Got to stop being manipulated by this. They should put all these people on a bus and send them back to wherever they came from. That's what you ought to do. Our brothers. What a load of crap. 64% are not from L.A. Why are we doing this? I'll take a break. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Evacuation orders and warnings are still in effect due to the fire burning in Simi Valley. Police in San Diego say the 2 teens who shot and killed 3 people at the Islamic Center met online and shared a hatred of different races and religions. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We'll check the freeways next.
Lasting Smiles Dental Implants. We had a huge response to their April Smile special. So I got them to extend it into May. But they're only offering a limited number of spots at these prices. And if you've been dealing with ugly or missing teeth, rotted teeth, and you're waiting for the right deal, well, this is the right deal. You'll get a free comprehensive dental exam with 3D imaging, custom treatment plan, payments as low as $149 a month on approved credit. This is limited. First come, first serve. So call now, lock in your spot, mention KFI or John, and get this incredible deal. LastingSmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center, Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny tomorrow, highs upper 70s to low 90s. This report brought to you by True Green. Slow on the 10 in Santa Monica.
It's that eastbound side, and it's loading up away from just about Cloverfield. Delays continue across Mid-City all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights. That southbound side of the 5, it's going to be tough out of Los Feliz, from Los Feliz Boulevard to the 605. And Dwayne called this up. He's on the 5, heading northbound before the 14 in Newhall. And he said there's a conked out car blocking the slow lane. Let's check out that slow drive quickly. Overall slowing out of Burbank from Hollywood Way with Southern California's most accurate traffic reports. I'm Angel Martinez.
Most people don't realize this, but the June 2nd primary will likely decide the future of Los Angeles. We are talking about the future of a city with nearly 4 million people and the Olympics and Super Bowl on the horizon. We cannot afford another 4 years of decline, dysfunction, and failed leadership. We need a proven leader that can fix LA. And that's Adam Miller. Adam has led businesses and nonprofits for the last 35 years and knows how to build a better Los Angeles. Vote Miller for mayor.
I'm Adam Miller, and I approve this message.
Ad paid for by Adam Miller for LA mayor.
True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Hurry, offer ends 5/21. Restrictions apply. See site for details. This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Hurry, offer ends 5/21. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Think back. All those times you questioned everything and wondered why you didn't trust yourself. What if those thoughts could be eliminated? Truth is, those thoughts come from a hidden part of your mind. At a Dianetics seminar, you'll learn and apply powerful techniques to address the hidden source of your stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. It's hands-on, and you'll put the tools to work immediately. In just one weekend, you'll discover exactly how the mind works and increase your happiness and restore trust in yourself. A single weekend can change everything. Register today and take charge of your mental health. Go to Dianetics.org/seminar. That's Dianetics.org/seminar.
LNK's Therapy Thursday is now a podcast. One confession can turn into a full-on phone explosion. Hear the drama, the heartbreak, and the advice everyone's talking about on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. LNK's Therapy Thursday, the podcast.
Hurt in a car, motorcycle, or trucking accident? Call Sweet James for a free case review. 809-million and sweetjames.com. Offices throughout California, including Los Angeles. Results not guaranteed and cannot predict future outcomes.
Congressional districts change. Lines get redrawn. But some things you can still count on, like AM and FM radio. The most reliable ways to reach people where they live with voices they trust across towns, cities, and congressional districts of every size. At iHeart, we connect with more Americans every month than anyone in audio. Ready to take your message to your current and future voters? Partner with iHeart, and we'll combine radio with our podcasting and digital assets and get working for you. Start today at winwithiheart.com.
Hey, Maria, how many windows do we replace every year for SoCal homeowners?
Thousands, because everyone wants the same things: comfort, lower energy bills, and a home that finally looks and feels the way it should.
I'm Duncan Newman, founder of Newman Windows and Doors.
And I'm Maria Newman. When you choose Newman, our name is on the work. We do the job right the first time. We provide honest recommendations and top quality Milgard products that we stand behind.
Because we don't just work in the community.
We live here.
Buy 2 Milgard vinyl windows and get 1 Milgard window free. And don't pay until 2027. Plus, for a limited time, Milgard is including a bonus electronic gift card with every Milgard product purchase.
Ask us about garage doors, interior doors, and glass replacement. Even fogged glass units can be replaced quickly and easily.
Call 8777-NEWMAN or NewmanWindows.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Financing is subject to credit approval. Call for details. License number 570472. Expires May 31st, 2026.
You'll learn more before breakfast than most people learn all day. Wake Up Call with Amy King. Live 5 to 6 a.m. on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
The author joins us to talk about the new book, Torched, How a City Was Left to Burn and the Olympic Rush to Rebuild Los Angeles.
He says that fire in the Palisades was forecast and not random. Find out why on Monks and Merrill. Tomorrow, starting at noon, Monks and Merrill, KFI, AM 640.
KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. Final segment, and then after news, Tim Conway's going to be here. And also after 6, we're going to release the podcast, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And if you missed the YouTube show today, the whole YouTube video cast will be on YouTube right after 6 o'clock. As soon as it's over, it's recorded and it's posted so you could watch it. And Deborah made another appearance today.
What's the website?
The website. youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. That's how you say. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to do a live stream. A home-based live stream tomorrow at 11 o'clock, right? Okay. So we'll send out notices on social media. But if you want to watch tomorrow at 11 o'clock, this is a continuing experiment. This will be the second one that we're going to do. And they'll be tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Just me live from the home studio. Now, homeless encampments, the cities can get like hundreds and hundreds of complaints, right? And nothing gets done for the most part. Go try calling Nithya Raman or Karen Bass's office and see if your encampment gets cleared. And Gavin Newsom normally doesn't care either. But they found text messages. The San Francisco Chronicle discovered text messages. And he's friends with the former football star Marshawn Lynch. In fact, they had a podcast together, right? Gavin Newsom and Marshawn Lynch and somebody else did this podcast. Is that still running or has that run its course?
I think that one's run its course.
All right. Well, they host a podcast together. And apparently Lynch's agent is a friend of Newsom. And there was a pesky encampment in front of Lynch's house or near Lynch's house. And it was bad. 311 requests were sent to Oakland city officials. 311 times neighbors called to clear up what was called the Dover Street encampment. There was an RV, a camper, an SUV. They arrived in 2024. They were backed up into the freeway. But those 311 requests were ignored. Except for Marshawn Lynch's request. He called the governor, Newsom. Newsom had somebody from his staff call the chief of staff of the mayor at the time, Sheng Tao, who I think has since been indicted. This is the chief of staff texting. This is for the mayor. I got a call from the governor's office regarding a number of RVs that are parked out in front of Marshawn Lynch's family home. The governor's office is requesting our support to help resolve the issues in a timely manner. 4 days later, the chief of staff started bugging administrators again, saying, hey, Newsom's office called again. Lee Hansen is the chief of staff. And she wrote that pit bulls had taken over the street around the property. So Lynch's house was surrounded by RVs and pit bulls. City administrators offered to send in animal control, and they were going to declare an emergency. And then the discussion petered out. And even with Newsom's people calling twice, they still didn't clear the encampment, even though there were pit bulls running around. A few months later, the encampment moved by itself to nearby lots. That's not the first time he's helped Marshawn Lynch. Newsom, back in 2012, when he was lieutenant governor, called the NFL commissioner Roger Goodell to vouch for Lynch after the star had been disciplined for a DUI arrest. Marshawn Lynch is the only guy Gavin Newsom has ever helped in the entire state of California, twice now. And even he couldn't get the city of Oakland to clean up the homeless encampment or get the pit bulls rounded up. All right. Got a lot of good stuff tomorrow. We'll get into Spencer Pratt. Oh, the LA Times is now taking Pratt really seriously. And they had a long article about how Pratt's ideas aren't going to work. And we're also going to talk about how the progressives on the city council have turned on Nithya Raman, who's a fellow communist. The three other communists on the city council are rejecting the communist Raman and endorsing the communist mayor Bass. Sort all this out tomorrow. We've got Michael Crozier coming up, then Conway. And Michael has the news live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.